I'm just a streaming dirtbag, baby. Come to my live stream, don't say maybe. It never ends till you go crazy. I'm just a streaming dirtbag, baby. Come to my live stream, don't say maybe. It never ends till you go crazy. Thank you, Uncle Remus. Thank you, Wesley. And thank you, everybody who came. Now, that's a franchise I'd watch.
I think you know why you are here. There's a part of you that the normies fear. Know the truth is what you seek, so we welcome you to the home of geeks, of the oddball, the neglected, the outcast, the rejected. We're all here to celebrate. There's no need to be a Pat Claire. We've done away with all the hatred. Every show you love is here. So kick back and grab a beer. There's plenty of discussion, no agenda that we're pushing. We're just here to celebrate. Anti-Gregory, rebels in the wonders and display. Whenever we are here, we see clear. There's no clear. It's good steady every turn. As your voice to be heard, to see everyone's a third. We are a sci-fi menagerie. We've got every alien from A to Z. We know this is where you want to be. We're the greatest channel in the galaxy. Anti-Gregory, rebels in the wonders and strength. Whenever we are here, we see clear. There's no fear. It's good and steady every turn. Have a voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's a third. A third. Oh yeah. A third.
Hello world, this is Birdo Prey 5, and congratulations, you are lucky you're about to watch the most awesome live stream ever. Yes, my live streams suck, and in fact, embarrassment to the internet. Compared to this guy, I have not been feeling that well. Winter for me is terrible as always, with the nosebleeds, and then the bloody hard boogers. Anti-Trekker is better than me, and Kuroga is a sham. It's true I'm holding Averjam against his will, is rotting in Kuroga in prison. For daring to tell the truth, the jerk, nobody tells the truth about me and gets away with it. Now off to my sheep baths.
Death to Kuroga!
Indeed, thank you, Chancellor. Death to Kuroga. And so now I have this, and I actually sent a picture of it to Captain Foley already, so he's seen it, but he's here now. And so here is the 3D print that you saw printing during the credits there. It took about 8 hours for the printer, which sounds like a ridiculously long time, but that's because I had it in a fine resolution mode, and that's how you're supposed to do it if you're going to make a good print. So this is the Trekyards comm badge. Granted, it's obviously larger than an actual comm badge, but I was just testing the design. I built Trekyards sent me a picture of the design. I then turned it into a 3D model and came up with this. So I hope you like it, Captain Foley. Yes, you're going to have to, now Captain Foley, just so you guys know, Captain Foley is actually a master model maker, and so he's going to have no problem with this. Obviously, he's going to have to, you can put some filler primer on that, sand it down, and make it look really nice. So there you go, Captain. And assuming that I'm able to meet up with you, I think it was in June, you said, I will give this to you then. And I'm still going to work on the plaque, of course. Hopefully I'll get that done as well. Now, let's put a round ice cube into a square glass. That's what I'm talking about. Have a little bit of, I forgot I had this. Wow, stuck. There we go. A little Jack Daniel's honey. I forgot I had this, or I would have had some of it yesterday when I was drinking that Southern Comfort. So, little Tennessee whiskey here with some honey in it. If you haven't had Jack Daniel's honey, it's really, really good. Not too super strong, which I appreciate, but strong enough to where it definitely has a bite. All right, so to the chat we go. Thomas was first. Wants to know if the next print is going to be a tank. No, and you can see here's the printer in action right now on the next print. Now this print is my most ambitious attempt to date. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't fail, but if it succeeds, this print is going to take 3 days to print. So we'll see if it actually works out. If it does, it's going to be absolutely awesome. But it is not a tank.
Death to Kuroga!
Thank you, Chancellor. But I will eventually do a tank for you, Thomas. I will. However, I actually have something very special planned for another one of our regulars here shortly. Let's see. Commander Shutter puts $2 into the chat. Thank you so much, Commander, and says, check Discord General. Turtistan forever. Spin, spin. I hate checking Discord in the middle of a live stream, but all right, let's go to Discord. And so what am I supposed to be looking? I see a bunch of pictures. I like fart night. I like that. So you guys, you're trying to put me in various products here. So let's see. If we go game screen, we will bring it. Come on. Stupid thing. All right, so we bring Discord over here. All right, so let's see. We got Fart Night. We got Star Butts Coffee, Mocha Duty Alati. That's horrible. Smell Logs Caca Krispies. Wow. Stinkers. Lay a big one duty size. McDudes, and Dr. Pooper. Wow. Just, wow. And though, thank you, my friend. I do appreciate it. Those were some I'm assuming you did not make those yourself.
Death to Cuyahoga!
Thank you, Chancellor. All right, so back to the chat we go. Let's see. Alexander says hi. John, the former president, says hi. Mike Richard says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Thomas wants to know, is it a bread box? It is not a bread box. Epic Bird says placed in top 10. Not sure what placed in the top 10, but congratulations, I guess. Does it look like it does look like a Romulan ship? Oh, you're talking about, yeah, the Trekyards logo, when it's lying flat like that, and of course it has a little rim around it, it does kind of look like a Romulan ship in general shape. And Sci-Fi Nation puts $5 into the chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Says, just want to say hi before I go to bed. A nice tribute to Trekyards. Number 15, if you please. You got it, my friend. I appreciate the $5. Enough to play number 15.
Sir, we are being hailed.
Or wait, did you mean
On
Uber
screen.
chat? Well, no, there
What is
is
your
an
problem?
Uber chat 15.
I am Lore.
Do you need help?
I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lore Reloaded.
Let me guess, the rubber band broke, right?
I make YouTube go.
Good old Data. Laughing at Lore. Alright, so...
Death to Cuyahoga!
Thank you, Chancellor. Are you printing a woman for Bird of Prey? No. Got a new Dune game ad start of stream. Look kind of cool. I didn't... Oh, is there a new Dune game? I didn't know about that. Alexander says, still doing slow mode. Yeah, I'll probably take it off in the next few days, but I want to make sure that we don't... That spammer, man, when he hits bad. Live with Matthew says, hey, Anti-Tracker and all. Hey, Live with Matthew, good to see you. Excuse me. Death Dealer says, hello, everyone in chat. Hey, Anti-Tracker. Hey, Death Dealer. Ensign Ricky says 15th. Kronos says Krapla, and hi, Anti-Tracker. E is 21st, and there goes the chat jumping on me. Wow, I'm way behind already. Rambling Canuck says, hello, Anti-Tracker. Hey, my pain brother, how you doing? Jeff says, greetings, sir. Kronos says, don't forget live chat. Oh, crap. I did forget the live chat, so... Darren says, good job cropping the clips I used in the One Wounded video. Agree with the choices you made. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, it was, I just tried to get the essence of what you were trying to say with the clips in as little time as possible. Hello, how are you doing today? It's a wet one in London. Well, you know, London's got a reputation for that. But I've never been. I want to go there someday. And I hope that things are well despite them being wet. Can I turn off slow mode? No, you cannot, sir. If only I can. Well, I think Mr. Miles can, but I'm not 100% sure if he can or not. Alice says hello. Aberjam says, greetings, so great turd of standing. 98% turd, 2% artificial materials. Your assimilation is almost complete. Lorturdus of Borg. I think 2% is not quite enough. Just having the knee in there, not going to fix it all. Captain Foley says hello. Sorry it took me so long to get to you. And of course, you know, talked about this already. Hope you like it. Fluggerville says, making a huge turd. No, that is not a turd. Darren says, if you ever get JG Hertzart back on the show, I'd love to be able to talk to him. I have a sea story in particular he would be amused by. I would love to. I sent a message out to him. He hasn't gotten back to me. I know, though, that, you know, he's a busy guy. So he's doing that. Oh, I'm losing my mind. What's his name that wrote? Ah, man. Mark Twain. He's doing a one-man show about Mark Twain. So he's pretty busy right now. Stuart says, what do you think of all the e-cam girls getting outdone by Project Melody as a VR model? Stuart, I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything about anything you just said. Darren says, did Bird just reference bloody hard boogers? That is awesome. He did. Captain Trek says, hello. Hey, how you doing? Chronos says, we demand to see Auntie. Auntie, come here. Auntie, come on. You want a treat? I'll see if I can get her to come up here. Come on, girl. See, if I grab a treat, I know she'll come here. Come on. Really? You're just going to lie there? You're seriously, you don't want to... This is your favorite treat, Auntie. She's looking at the treat like, yeah, come over here and give it to me and I'll eat it. Auntie. Come on. There you go. Jeez. Come on. Come on. Up here. Up here. Can you get it? Almost. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. All right. All right. All right. Come here. Here we go. Here you go. There you go. She's just like, yeah, just let me have my treat and let me go. All right. All right. There you go. Jeff says, turn on the anti-cam. I can't right now. The anti-cam, I'm having some technical problems with it, so I need to have some time to get that fixed. You need a badge like Foley's. Ditch the turd to make one of those. I would love to do something like that. I actually have an idea I'm working on for a official badge for my ship. Looks great. Thank you, Captain Foley. Glad you like it. Valor says, Mr. Miles forever awesome. I'm forever, or Mr. Miles. Yeah, Mr. Miles forever awesome. I'm forever awesome. Baby Yoda makes a tasty soup, and Auntie forever cuter than Baby Yoda. Wow. Wow, you really went there. What's with the cloudy ice sphere in your drink? Get one of those ice cube trays that makes clear ice spheres like I did. I have no idea what you're talking about. I got that ice cube thing a long time ago. Check Discord. I already read that. Tiki says, is Anti-Checkers drinking out of a candy dish? Tom Spot says, I don't need a tank. It resembles a batleth? You think that's a batleth? No, definitely not a batleth. Piano Dean's in the house says, greetings from me and my dog, Abby. How you doing, Piano Dean? Mr. Captain says, what can you print for a Kurogan logo? A toilet? Well, for a Kurogan, that's tough. But I think their official state, like, I could see, like, a statue, a bird of prey in his bed, holding a bullwhip and whipping an orphan that's trying to mine some uranium. You're still on top, chat. I know I am, because if I switch it when I'm this far behind, then I'll lose where I was. And Python says in all caps, I want Picard to be good, but it effing sucks. Well, I disagree with you. I don't think it effing sucks. I think that the last episode left a lot to be desired, but I'm enjoying the show overall. Commander Shutter says, I saw one of those coin machines last weekend, had to get them. Oh, the turd stickers. They're pretty good. I'll give you that. Darren says, okay, the Smellogs Kaka Krispies made me shoot coffee onto my monitor. I have to get a rag now. Yeah, that was pretty good. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's really cool. And I have no idea. How do you do that, Darren? Where did you get that? And it's because if that actually works, I'll get that. Well, send me a link to where you can get that. Seriously. Commander Sutter says the stickers aren't to me poo. KG says, good evening, fearless leader of Turnistan. Thank you, my friend. Valor says, those all sound like laxative products. too. Jeff says, so when will death finally come to Kuroga? Martok needs to deliver success. Well, see, Martok is currently in negotiations with Galron, because Galron has joined the Kurogans, and Martok, while Galron is an honorless dog of a Klingon, he's still a Klingon. And so, we don't want to be too hasty in taking him out. And let me see here. Oh, that's cool. So this is like, that's weird. So, perfectly round spheres, 2.35 inches, and makes them crystal clear. How does that work? So you just take that and you stick it in the freezer, I assume. Of course, it says this item is currently unavailable. Of course. Well, that sucks. And let's see. Wow, some of those are really expensive. Did you actually spend that much on it, or did you get a different brand? Because that's a lot for an ice cube maker, I gotta say. Anyway. Let's see. She's named after Abbey Road. That's cool. Trekyard, how did Turkestan and Karoga work past the differences to help Trekyards to the mid-21st century, since Trekyard somehow beams its videos back to today for us to watch? It's a long story, actually. Check your Twitter. There's a championship picture of your career in the 80s, says Neo Normie. Man, you guys just want me to be further and further behind. I get it now. That's what you want. You're just trying to make me suffer. And we'll close that. Where did my... Alright. So I'll go to Twitter. And did you send it to me in a direct message, or did you just tweet it out there? Oh, okay, there it is. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, yeah.
Death to Cuyahoga!
Wow. All those photoshots were crap. I mean, compliment, of course, they were great. Tom says, have you decided the color of the USS Anti-Trigger? Maybe it should match the TOS Enterprise. Actually, I haven't absolutely decided yet, but it's probably going to be more like what we see on our current day warships. Daniel says, here's Johnny. Okay, Ozzy says, not first at all. Tubian says, loved your rap, especially we have diversity, because the nerd community, there is not only diversity of skin color and gender, but of thought. Indeed. Sci-Fi says, that was the right number 15. Thanks for stopping by. Alexander, thanks for stopping by. Okay. Is it a statue of shirtless Captain Foley? No, I haven't quite gotten my modeling skills to the point where I could make a shirtless Captain Foley. Let's see. Jeff says, I would appreciate thoughts and prayers. I have two big things happening in my life. Both could be wonderful, could be difficult. All right, well, I will definitely keep you in prayer, and I hope that it is the wonderful, not the difficult. Are you printing a seagull of House... The seagull... Oh, I don't know, whatever you... I assume you mean symbol of the House Stark. No. Were you affected by the tornado? Thank you for asking, but no, the tornado hit about 40 miles north of me. It went through a swath of northern Nashville, and man, the destruction is insane. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that lost everything. I mean, everything. And, I don't know what the current death toll is. Last time I checked, it was pushing 30. Daniel says, so the flashbacks in Picard, do they take place in the past or the future? I say the future. Well, I'm pretty sure the actual destruction we see is from the future. I think where people were trying to think of is, how did Commodore O get this information? And did she time travel, or is she just showing her what the prophecy is? We don't really know yet. Daniel says, I like the face you made in the J.G. Hertzler video, and the thumbnail is very anime. Thank you. Would you go through the process of becoming a Borg and then having all the implants removed and having to use an alcove to sleep if it meant fixing your back and leg? That is a tough question. If they would let me take a really, really large amount of pain-killing medication before the assimilation process, I probably would. Project Melody is an experiment using virtual reality as a streamer like yourself, playing video games, talking to the audience, and a more adult material. Never heard of it. Let's see. Kronos, did you get Ed Trigger to make a Mothman symbol? I did. No, that's actually not a bad idea, though. Are you printing a 3D Buddha statue? No. Meow, Auntie, she's a pretty kitty. Okay. Thomas says, it's a turd! No, it is not a turd. Kronos, the third print Ed Trigger's making looks like your Mothman symbol. The third print I'm making looks like the Mothman. Well, no, because this is like way past the third. You know, we had the first print was the first print since I started getting things back up that kind of succeeded was this cube, and then the second, third, and fourth prints of successful prints were donuts. The fifth print, and by the way, the fifth print, the one I started yesterday of this failed because I ran out of filament. So all those other prints were on one spool of filament. I ran out, so I had to change the filament spool. This took about 8 hours to print. The donuts took actually less than that. As I dropped them on the floor. And the board cube, or the companion cube took, about 20 hours or so. So this one is going to take, I believe it said 3 days is the estimate. Let me check. That's not what I was wanting. Got this crap in my way. All right, bring up Kira. 3 days, 8 hours, 56 minutes is the total print time for this one. And it will use a half a spool of PLA in the process. So it is a pretty serious print. Definitely the biggest thing I've ever tried to print. And so I'm looking forward to seeing if it comes out okay. But we shall see. London is okay, but when you when you got to have body armor on all the time because the gangs wars, it's nuts. Well, then I would probably avoid it. Dreamers out there says Project Melody is a CGI anime cam girl brought to life with motion capture and AI, and she's out doing real girls on cam sites, and actual humans are super salty about how popular she is. Okay, so it's porn. Have you seen the toilet paper rolls in your town? Have you seen the toilet paper riots in your town, as I have seen an arrest at work of someone stealing toilet paper out of public toilets? Well, there are definitely... What the heck? You achieved grammar greatness? What? Oh, okay. I guess I got an achievement with Grammarly. Anyway. But no, I have not seen toilet paper riots. Amtrak, your Steam goes max headroom now and then. Does anyone else see that? I don't. Don't. Hey, it's you and Franz, and we're going to pump you up. Darth Maul says, not sure how long I'll be on the stream tonight. Before I go, I was enticed by the dancing wilds of Bird of Prey and subscribed. Dude's nuts, but the kind of nuts one is safe with. Yeah, Bird of Prey, I tell you, I know I give him a lot of flack, but he's one of the most fun people to hang out with on his live streams. Need a scratch and stiff me poo sticker. Ooh, that's a bad idea. And Trigger and Bird, Legion of Doom, pro wrestlers, yes. Aberjam says can't unsee it. Lancer says, who is your ultimate dream Trek crew for a Trek ship? Any series you can use from. I would pick Count Orloff as captain, Spock science officer, Crichton for droid, Deadpool as the red shirt. So you're saying you can pick basically anybody from any franchise to be your crew. Wow. All right, so, wow, that's a tough one. I mean, if you're looking at everything there is, you know, I think of characters like James Bond. You know, he would be great to have on your crew as an away team leader. Yeah, so I'm going to say, well, shoot. I'll take Thor as my chief of security. No, work from there. The clear ice maker only makes 2 at a time. It works by separating the air from the water as they freeze. I store them in baggies in the freezer once they're made. That's cool. I like your ideas for how to fix Star Trek Discovery. What's it going to take to get Alex Kurtzman to steal them from you? I don't know. I would love for him to steal them from me, though. Alex Kurtzman, Alex, if you see this, please steal my idea. Please, I beg you to steal my idea. You don't have to give me credit. You don't have to give any kind of acknowledgement that I gave you the idea at all. Just do it, and I will be happy. And Orville Nation is here, puts $5 into the chat. Thank you so much. Says, put some proteins, carbs, and vegetables in that 3D printer and make the first food replicator. That sounds great, but it doesn't work that way. You have to have spools of filament that go through it, and the hot end, the nozzle, basically heats that filament up to 200 degrees, and that's 200 degrees centigrade, by the way, which melts the plastic, and then it comes out the other end. If you were to cram some protein and carbs and veggies in there, it would just burn them.
Hello, world.
And there's the official Orville Nation donation screen. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate it. Daniel says, I'm working on Star Trek DS9, Season 7, Episode 12, The Emperor's New Cloak, where Quark and Rom and Mirror Ezri, who is really sexy, go to the Mirror Universe. Okay. Why doesn't you print a Borg Cube? Well, Borg Cube is actually something that would be very difficult to print because of all those little things that are on it. Are you making Momo Challenge face? I am not. How does Starship maneuver? I understand how it can move forward, but not in other directions. What about in atmosphere? Those things are not light. Well, Commander, as far as most of it, you just say space magic. However, the impulse engines, yeah, they appear to only go one way. They do mention thrusters, and the thrusters are how the ship maneuvers in different directions, but we never really see the thrusters. We just kind of know they're there. Tubian wants to know, is the print Trek related? Good question. No, it is not. You had too much time at work for you to hit the waves in Kuroga's smelly brown water? I don't hit the waves in Kuroga's smelly brown water. Darren says, did you like my Spaceballs gang sign? It's interesting. Have you seen the YouTuber Church of Grail? Yeah, and it's really funny. She's insane Brent Spiner fan who claims to also be married to Jesus, Hugh Jackman, and Donald Trump, and has a spaceship. Sounds like my sister. Why wasn't there this much panic on H1N1? 20,000 Americans died, but people didn't go crazy because people are stupid and the media is doing their very best to get everybody worked up, and I'm really kind of pissed off about it. You're missing Jimi Hendrix and In Between the and Experience. Okay. Oh, because I forgot. Yes. So, the USS Trekyards is a sanitary starship. Is our TOS era badge a Delta shield with a toilet on it? Well, you're just a jerk. No, I'm making a real symbol for it, actually. That's when I say like Trekyards, I don't mean like it's going to look like this. This is Trekyards' symbol. The symbol that we use is going to be totally different, and it's going to be unique to our ship. Deadpool's the red shirt. That would be cheating. Yes, it would. That would be awesome, though. Daniel says, why did Hugh have to die? Why? I'm sad. Mrs. Andy Checker was very sad about that, too. She liked Hugh a lot and was really upset that he got killed. And she was even more upset that she heard that he got killed on this live stream before she watched it. So, yeah. Anyone at your work, sub and or regular on your channel, what do they think of the channel? If you do, are they turds or Kurogans? A couple of people at my work are subscribers to the channel. It's kind of funny because I've been in meetings that because since I work in a virtual environment and the company I work for has thousands of people, you know, I don't know that many people in the organization. And so one time we were in a meeting and they asked me to say something, so I said something, and then one of the other people in the panel was like, wait a minute, are you that turd guy on YouTube? And it's like, yeah. So you know, that's one of only 2 times I've ever been recognized outside of being on YouTube. Anyone? Let's see, I already read that. You're printing the Greatest American Hero symbol. Not a bad idea, but no, that's not what it is. Why? And the greatest American hero symbol would not take 3.5 days to print. Darren said, what will really piss me off is if it gets like halfway through and then fails. What we do not invoke or seek or commune with Alex Kurtzman. He's a total expert at effing things up. He will take whatever good ideas you have and mangle them. Well, I can hope, okay? Let me have my hope, Darren. Why do Kurogans hate Australia? Do you need to get Crocodile Dundee to say death to Kuroga? Well, that would actually be good, but is he even still around? I don't know. The thrusters are the yellow bits we see on every ship but the 1701. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm sure Captain Foley knows all about where the thrusters are because he knows the ships inside and out. And he's probably gone now. He just stopped by. I told him in advance that I was going to show off the badge today, so I'm sure he's probably gone by now. So one of my favorite Star Trek stories, the crew discovers the anti-mirror universe where everyone is benevolent, righteous, and honorable. Or one of your Trek stories, the anti-mirror universe where everyone is benevolent, righteous, and honorable. Well, isn't that just the regular universe? Or are they like so over the top that it gets annoying? Wow, my allergies are killing me. Sir says starships would have anti-grav to maneuver in atmospheres. Well, that's the assumption, yeah, that they use some kind of anti-gravity technology. Ozzy says Lore released a teaser for his fan film. It's titled Betraying the Uniform. Oh, did he? I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out. I love your idea about fixing Discovery using time travel. Not that I think it needs fixing, but I get more. After they fix the timeline and it goes back to the TOS timeline. Well, here's the problem, Daniel. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I know you like Discovery, and it's not about liking or disliking Discovery at that point. It's about fixing continuity because Discovery, whether you like the show or hate it, does not line up with the Trek universe that it's in. Because if you go from Enterprise to Discovery to TOS, there's a huge problem there. I'm looking forward to you and your new improved USS Anti-Tracker. I am too. I can't wait until it's done. Mr. Captain says USS Anti-Tracker should have a saucer section shaped like a toilet seat. Wow, you guys are just mean. Hugh was a straight white male. That's why. Well, I don't know. I mean, isn't Elnor? Well, we don't really know his sexual preferences, but you know. Flailing arms, I'm not giving into the coronavirus scare. Ah! SC says, I missed your fix for Discovery. It was just basically to make Star Trek Continues from rocks and all, because foam rocks are canon. Was it basically to make Star Trek Continues foam rocks and all, because foam rocks are canon? Well, the foam rocks thing, first of all, I mean, yeah, the set pieces in the original series era were cheesy, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, yeah, we know they're supposed to be rocks. It's just bad visual effects, you know, bad practical effects and that's partially because of the day that it was made. Now, all that being said, the fix for Discovery is fairly simple and straightforward. The Discovery is currently 900 years in the future. So what I would do is in this third season, you have them discover the temporal Cold War. And the guy that Archer's been talking to in Enterprise, future guy as people call him, is the big bad from this season of Discovery. And at the end of this season, they take out future guy, and then Michael Burnham has to destroy the time equipment that they use to communicate to the past so that they can prevent the temporal Cold War from ever happening. And when she does it, somebody has to be in the equipment to do it, and so she ends up sacrificing herself and erasing herself from the entire timeline. So Michael Burnham never existed, nobody knows about her, but she saved the universe, and the last thing we see is the USS Discovery with everybody on the crew except for Michael Burnham. We bring Captain Lorca back to life, but it's good Lorca. We have everything the way it should be, and except that the Discovery looks like it belongs in the TOS era. Chrono says, sorry for yelling. Please don't ban me. I'm not going to ban you. Bet your boss was thinking, what is this Michael? What is this Michael is a turd guy? Actually, it's funny because my boss did ask me about that, and I just told him, I got a YouTube channel, and my avatar is a turd. Thomas says, you need to give us a hint. Well, I already said it's not Star Trek related. That's a hint. You got 3.5 days. You'll probably figure it out by day 2 when the printer's that high up on it. Is it Bird of Prey 5 like that I age over your left shoulder? Is it Bird of Prey 5 like that I age over your left shoulder? Oh, you mean that? No. So after they fix the timeline and go back to the TOS timeline, the events of Discovery and the Kling Orcs and everything else does not get erased, but gets pushed into the future. Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying that it would, but the events of Discovery would have been erased because you can't just move them. Because all the people are still alive in that timeline. Cats of Saturn says Star Trek 3 is a misfire, but damn, I love the music when they steal the Enterprise. Thank you, James Horner. James Horner is brilliant. I don't think of Star Trek 3 as a misfire, though, actually. When I rewatch the Star Trek movies, honestly, I think that if you look at Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, and Star Trek 6 as a trilogy of films, it works beautifully. But the only real problem Star Trek 3 has is that it has to have Star Trek 2 for it to make sense, because it is a direct sequel. Commander Sutter, RCS, reaction control thrusters, yellow bits on the corners of the saucer and around the ship. I believe you, but the problem is that we know the ship can go full impulse in reverse. But that could have to do with the magic space technology of impulse engines, because we don't really know what they are. And the chat jumped. I'm just completely lost. Wow, I missed that one. Josh said, when did 3D become 3D? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let's see. Wow, this is just really messed up there. There's greatest American show. We improved. Sorry for yelling. As Bird of Prey. Okay, Governor Shutter. Are you making Atlantis from Stargate? I am not. Nonprofit says, what is the failure rate for your 3D printer? I'd say about 25% of the, it's actually not that bad. But a lot of it has to do with my own screw-ups, right? So, like, this, I'm not calling this a failed print, even though it doesn't look that good, because the problem with it is not that the printer screwed up or the printer failed. The problem is that I had bad settings in there. So does that count? I don't think so. But and when I look at these donuts that I printed, right? So this was the first donut I printed, and the problems you see in the details have nothing to do with the printer. Again, that's the settings. The other three, I had the settings correct, and the donuts came out nicely, but one of them failed. So based on the donuts, that's a 25% failure rate. And Josh says Paul Hogan is still alive. He's 80. Well, then I doubt he's as tough as he was. Laura's teaser trailer is basically just an announcement with a tattered flag in it. Oh, so he didn't have any, like, anything to show us what it was. You need to give us a clue to what genre you're printing. Is it Star Trek, Stargate, etc.? Well, I already said it's not Star Trek. And I'll say it is sci-fi. Donnie says, respectively, I love every era of Trek, even Discovery and Picard. I actually like Picard. Discovery I'm not a fan of, but it's, there are things to like in it, but overall, I think the show falls flat. Season 2 was way better than Season 1, but the ending of Season 2 was crap. Season 3, I'm hoping is better than Season 2, but we'll see. You need to get Yahoo Serious to say death to Kuroga. Okay. Cateless, are your men are on the right pills? Perhaps you should execute their trainer. Max von Sydow as Ming the Merciless. Oh, man, I remember. Man, he was great as Ming the Merciless. Oh, my God, he's printing a new Mrs. Anti-Tracker. No, definitely not. Basically, your solution for Discovery is the plot from yesterday's Enterprise, in that the STD universe is a temporary state of the Star Trek universe. In a sense, yes, except not with a natural occurring, well, it wasn't really natural, but not with an accidental temporal distortion, but with the intent of corrupting the timeline during the temporal Cold War. Death Dealer says, damn, you missed my comment. It was under SC's. I'm sorry, yeah, the chat, I'm way behind, and when it falls behind, it gets very hard to follow the chat. I apologize, Death Dealer. If you could repost it, and I am truly sorry. Is it sci-fi related? Yes, it is. Chrono says, are you printing the Orville? No, I am not printing the Orville. Well, I give up on guessing. Okay, well, we'll give it a day or two, and then you'll probably be able to figure it out. You know, so, I mean, it's been printing for about, this is about, I think, an hour or so, about maybe an hour and a half into the print. So that should give you an idea of the scale of this thing. It's going to be fairly tall, especially since it's going to take 3 days to complete. And part of it, I'll tell you, all the stuff it's printing now in the back part there, that's all supports. The front part is the only part that's actually part of the final product. And it will be... Thank you, Chancellor. It'll be a gift for Mrs. Anti-Trekker. Are you printing a Stargate? No. Daniel says, so the events of Discovery... I already read that. That's weird. Or did you post it twice, Daniel? Please don't repeat the comments unless I missed it the first time, because I'm already way too far behind. Star Trek 3 is definitely the best odd-numbered Star Trek film. So many firsts in that film: Excelsior, Space Dock, Bird of Prey, and of course the Oberth. Yeah, and I know a lot of people like to pick on the Oberth, but I like the design, except for it's missing a neck. And we get new Star Wars with the Klingons. We get a new war with the Klingons. Well, we might get a new war with the Klingons. That'd be fine, but it needs to be done correctly. Have you seen the current BS with Doctor Who having infinite regenerations, and now the woke idiots at Screen Rant's those 32 doctors, and they're claiming all the fans just have to accept it? I did not watch it. I will say that much. I did not watch it. However, I had heard about it. And I actually watched Critical Drinker's review of it. And while I know Critical Drinker is very biased with the way he puts stuff, which I understand, you know, like when he says things like, oh, a diverse woman, you know, and I get it, it's a joke. So I get, and that's just his sense of humor. But I still... you know, from what I understand, and I told Mrs. Anti-Trekker about it, the idea that the Doctor was the originally little black girl that was then, that somehow had the power magically of regeneration, and that someone murdered her over and over and over so that they could figure out the secret of regeneration and all that, and that, so the Doctor always was a woman. And it's like, whatever, dude. SC says, printing Baby Yoda. Yes! You are 100% right. It is, in fact, Baby Yoda. Good job, SC. Is it the Planet Express building? Obviously not. Katsu Center says, I wonder if, as in the original script, the Romulans as the enemy would change my mind. Always great to see TOS cast together, so I can't really argue with your point. Actually, I really do. I would like to see... it's too bad it didn't happen. I like the original concept better with the Romulans. Death Dealer says, reposting this. Just sent you something funny involving Discovery. Sent it to you on Twitter. All right, Death Dealer. All right. Let's go back to Twitter. And was this a direct message, I assume? And so let's go to messages. Maybe not. You must have just sent it as a tweet. So let's go to notifications. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't. Where? I don't know where you sent it, Death Dealer. All right, so you sent something funny involving Discovery. Sent it to you on Twitter. Did you send it earlier? Or did you just send it? And I don't even know what your name is on Twitter, so I could be just missing it because I'm just stupid. Are you printing Tracy Island from Thunderbirds? No, we already got it. SC says, I'm not trying to make you mad, but Discovery was visual tech reboots on the 23rd century. They can break physics, but holograms in the 23rd century is impossible. No, I'm not saying the hologram. Here's the thing. All the plot or the continuity issues with Discovery That is a massive problem, I'm not going to lie. It pisses me off, and it pissed off a lot of Trek fans. But I would be perfectly fine with the visual reboot if the story was awesome. But the story has not been awesome, at least not in my opinion. The story has been centered around Michael Burnham, who is the epitome of a Mary Sue, and is annoying as all hell because she literally pushes people out of their workstation because she can do everything better than the specialists in that department. Whether you're talking about Saru or you're talking about, oh geez, and I'm forgetting his name, the character Anthony Rapp plays, Stamets, or anybody else, she does everything better than everybody. So far on the show, the only character that she has not done their job better than they do is the freaking doctor. That's it. The ship's surgeon is apparently the only one who can do their job better. Although we did get another woman who, as an engineer, read a book and was able to keep brains alive in a jar. Sorry. Can we see the model for Baby Yoda? Sure. And Night Breeze puts in $2 and says, down with Kuroga and Death to Disco. All right, I will play Death to Disco, and then afterwards I'll show you the model of Baby Yoda.
Hello, world.
Oh, and God donated $1. You have my divine blessing to wipe Kuroga from the earth. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lord. I will do so.
Death to Kuroga!
So you guys saw it. God himself has endorsed the utter destruction of Kuroga. So that's pretty impressive. Okay, so let me show you this. So here is the print in progress. All right, and so I'm going to show you Cura. That's the slicing program, which is the program you use to prepare the 3D model for the print. And you'll see if you take a look at that and then you compare it to what we see in Cura, you'll get what's going on here. So we go there. Here's the actual model that's going to be printed. And so you can see it's Baby Yoda holding the cup. And so you can see it is tilted at an angle because that's that they say that's the best way to print things. And if you tilt it backwards, there tends to be less supports on the front of the model, which makes it easier for the cleanup process, because all these supports have to be trimmed out of the model after it's done printing. And it's much easier to remove these from the back of the model and sand off the little nubs that are left behind than if you have it all over the face. But it's a pretty good model, actually. If you look at that, that is a pretty darn good model of Baby Yoda. And again, though, if you look at where we're at in the print right now, the printer has only printed like this little bit of support here and a little bit of the first few layers of the support there. If we go back to, oops, wrong one. There we go. So we look at that, you can see it's just starting to print. The front part that's closer to the camera is the first part of the actual Yoda model, and the back part is entirely just support. So that's where we're at with it. So thank you, SC. Darren Wagner says, anytime a writer or showrunner tells the audience that everything they know is wrong with a retcon like Doctor Who, Wolverine, and Star Trek Discovery, they mangle and deform the IP. I agree. You should not just sit there and say, by the way, everything you think you know about your favorite franchise is wrong. As a channel I watch that has something that reads out, super chats for them. Oh, that's cool. You have to ask them how they do that. What software do they use? I'd love to know. Neo Normie says, I'm pretty lefty, but Doctor Who stuff with people who should argue with me 2 years ago about the brain of Morbius pre-Hartnell doctors are now using it to back up this woke BS. Yeah. And that's the thing. There shouldn't be any doctors pre-Hartnell. I'm sorry. There shouldn't. He is the first freaking doctor, period. Daniel says, I was saying when they fix the timeline, the darkness and the nihilism will survive into the future. I hope not. And besides, why would Discovery be... And that's one of the big problems with Discovery. It shouldn't be nihilistic in Discovery because Discovery is just a few years before the original series, which is arguably the most optimistic of all the shows. The Doctor Who mess began 44 years ago, an episode called Brain of Morbius that introduced 8 previously unknown faces of the Doctor that was supposed to be pre-First Doctor, and they ran with it now. I didn't know about that. Darren says, I've always found the automation center Scotty used in Star Trek 3, the automation center that Scotty used in Star Trek 3 so that only 3 people could run the Enterprise. He basically turned it into a big shuttlecraft. Yeah. But you say, I've always found it, you've always found it what? Good, bad, indifferent? Just DM'd you since it didn't show up earlier. Alright, let me check now, Death Dealer. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. We go back to Twitter. Alright, there we go. Star Trek. Yes, I have seen that clip before. And so, that's basically... So, for those of you that have not seen it, there's a clip here. The Enterprise fires a torpedo and blows up the Discovery. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Oops. So, yeah. And I gotta say, even though I don't particularly like the visual reboot and retcon of the look of the Enterprise, this is a nice looking model. This is a beautiful starship. Unfortunately, and parts of it look very good. Like if you look at like the lower part of the saucer, the neck, and the front part of the secondary hull, that all looks great. And so I would be totally on board. All they got to do is really fix if they fix the frickin' pylons and the bridge module, that I would be happy with it. Thank you, Chancellor. Jimmy 1985 says the last episode of Discovery will be revealed that it was Spock on mushrooms when they find him in Star Trek 3. I hope you're right. Neo Normie says there was a type of holotech in the episode of Enterprise where Trip was made pregnant by accident. I thought I hate Discovery because of the damage to the Klingon. Though I hate Discovery because of the damage to the Klingon continuity. Yeah, the Klingon continuity is completely screwed. The holographic stuff doesn't bother me as far as them having like the hologram, the holodeck type room. I didn't really have a problem with it. They actually had a holodeck in the original Enterprise in the animated series, but the Gorn, the Tribble, all the stuff that they knew before anybody else knew, stuff like that, it bothered me a lot. Now, is Discovery the only show to do that? No, Enterprise did that plenty of times. Enterprise showed Romulans using cloaking devices 100 years before the Romulans had cloaking devices. So that was a horrible, horrible misstep there. However, Enterprise was a better show. That's the problem. Discovery isn't a good show. If Discovery was good, then we could forgive all that. Thomas says, praise be to God. Indeed, God himself donated $1 to the show just to let me know that it's perfectly okay for us to wipe out Karoga, which means God is on our side. Commander Sutter says, has there ever been a Trek episode where they attempt to fight a galaxy-wide infection? Not that I know of, although you could argue that the immunity syndrome was a galactic infection, but it wasn't galaxy-wide, it was just starting. Darren says, on a submarine, if someone pushed a watchstander out of the way to do something without being asked by the captain to relieve said watchstander, heads would roll, Burnham privilege. Yeah, that's the thing. When Burnham shoved Saru out of the way in the first episode, I was like, oh no, this is wrong. Essie says, okay, fair enough, but Kirk also pushed a transporter chief out of the way, and he had been sitting behind a desk for 5 years, But yeah, he kind of screwed that up. Well, but here's the difference. Kirk, at the time, was a freaking admiral, right? And he was also an expert, supposedly. Oh, wow, Miss Trekker is going to love that model. She will. She absolutely loves Baby Yoda. And so I hope it comes out good so that so I can give it to her. Spoilers, in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, the name of Baby Yoda will really be revealed to be Steve. Steve Shives is Baby Yoda. Darren Wagner, every few years they tell us that the James Bond we know is wrong. Well, here's the thing about James Bond. First of all, the Daniel Craig Bond is a reboot of the franchise. And that's fine. If you're going to reboot, that's okay. When Discovery came out, if they said, hey, we're rebooting Star Trek, you know what? I would have been okay with the continuity problems because I'd say, okay, this is a reboot universe. But they're trying to tell us that this is in the same universe as the original series, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, but this fits into that universe? Hell no, it doesn't fit into that universe. That makes no freaking sense. You know, that's why I don't get mad at the Kelvin timeline for that, because in the Kelvin timeline, in the movie Star Trek 2009, they flat out say, oh, this is an alternate reality. Wow. So if they did something like that in Discovery, all those continuity issues would go away. What won't go away is the fact that Michael effing Burnham is one of the worst characters in television history. And I'm sorry to people that like the show. Michael effing Burnham is the worst character in all of Trek, even including the space hippies. She totally destroys the show. And I don't understand why people can say, oh, she's not that bad. She solves everything. She lectures everybody. She is better at absolutely everything than everybody else. She gives the speech at the end of the first season. She has to give the speech. Why? She's not in command. Sorry. Got a little worked up there. In Star Trek Online, they did a good job of catching Burnham's smugness and Mary Sue's, which makes it easy to pick between torture or killing her in the Red Angel suit. I haven't seen that storyline, but man, now you're making me want to play Star Trek Online again. Andrew, did you see the TOS episode where Kirk and crew meet Apollo? What happened to Apollo after the Enterprise destroys Apollo's temple? Apollo died at the end of that episode. Yeah, Apollo actually voluntarily dies at the end of the episode. In the newest Doctor Who episode, when they're showing a montage of all the doctors, they include the eight Brain of Morbius doctors, so it's a 44-year-old idea. Well, here's the thing. Maybe there was a 44-year-old idea to show these previous doctors, but, you know, turning Doctor Who into a freaking political statement when it was just a fun romp, that pisses me off. Darren says, I meant to say I was always fond of the Automation Center and interesting and foreshadowing of TNG. Yeah, okay. Your temporal Cold War Burnham sacrifice to fix timeline makes too much sense. It will never happen, but you should make an episode about it. Yeah, I may do that, actually. Tom says, if Star Trek Discovery Enterprise was in JJ Trek, it would be a lot better. If Star Trek Discovery Enterprise was in JJ Trek, that would have been awesome. Because the JJ Enterprise sucks rancid donkey balls. It is like such an ugly ship. I do not like it at all. And it's not ugly in a good way like the Steamrunner class or the Saber class. It's ugly it's just an eyesore. I don't like it. When I see it, I want to cringe because you know what? Here's the thing. It's the same as Dr. Girardi from Star Trek Picard. Dr. Girardi's eyes are too close together. This ship's nacelles are too close together, and it pisses me off every time I see it. Darren says, I could actually see Star Trek Discovery Enterprise being a ship from after Star Trek Nemesis if retro styling became a thing with Starfleet design. I could see that. The ugliest Enterprise is still the one in the JJ movies. I agree. It's horrible. And the thing about the Discovery Enterprise, you know what that looks like to me? That should be the Enterprise about 5 years after the original series, and 5 years before Star Trek the Motion Picture. So like after the animated series. So this is the Enterprise through phase 1 of its refit to become the TMP Enterprise. That, I think, would be good. Any canon violation could be because of Star Trek First Contact events change the timeline to make the Enterprise more canon than TOS. Well, actually, Jimmy, if you haven't seen it, I did a video. It's called The Triple Timeline Theory. Check it out. The way to do woke stuff in sci-fi is be realistic, like Ronald D. Moore's subtle stuff at BSG, like communal bathrooms. They didn't have the Christian division in their society. Well, actually, there was a religious divide. It was just a polytheistic religion. And I thought that was interesting that it was the Cylons that were monotheists. There's a lot of great stuff that Ronald D. Moore put into Battlestar Galactica. And the funny thing is, Battlestar Galactica is exactly what he wanted Star Trek Voyager to be. And when he found out that Star Trek Voyager was going to be everybody singing Kumbaya, he said, okay, I've had it, I'm out. Getting another ice ball. Getting some more of my pain medication going here. Neo Normie says, most annoying thing about Star Trek Discovery and also Picard has a bit of it is when men are total idiots and only the women do anything of value. It's just terrible writing, like a flip on Forbidden Planet. Yeah, I don't like that either. Picard's not nearly as bad as Discovery was about it. Because in Picard, you do have guys that are competent and able to do things, like Rios. And Eldor is a freaking badass, right? So, no, they don't make the guys incompetent. But I don't like that you have a crack addict that seems to be like the one person that can hack in any computer system ever. Burnham is worse than Barney and the Teletubbies. I agree. Burnham is horrible. Darren says, retro styling could be a believable thing of Star Trek, the way that we have retro-style cars today. The idea that Starfleet wants to make a statement with the choice. I agree. That could work. SC says, BSG wasn't subtle. It was, well, here's the thing about PSG. And this is the genius of Ronald D. Moore, and why I really have a lot of respect for Ronald D. Moore. Ronald D. Moore, and for those of you that didn't hear it, during the original run of BSG, Ronald D. Moore became one of the first people to do, like, he did a weekly stream, and it was funny because you would hear him, he every stream he had his scotch that he was drinking, and he would basically watch the episode, and while he was watching the episode, he was talking about the production of that episode and what was going through his mind as far as with the writing and stuff like that. But here's the thing. He presented a lot of controversial issues like abortion, and he didn't, even though he has a clear side, he is a hardcore liberal, he said it on his podcast, he didn't take a side in the writing of the episode. So they don't say that abortion is right or wrong, but they have to come to the pragmatic solution that if they don't ban it, then the human race might not survive. And YJ, I am drinking Jack Daniel's Original Recipe Tennessee Honey. Stewart says, in Star Trek Online, they explore where the bugs came from, the bugs that tried to take over Star Trek and TNG. Yeah, that's something that they need to bring back. Darren says, I like the second JJ Enterprise from Beyond, the one at the end, a lot better than the other JJ ships, but my favorite's the Franklin for obvious reasons. Well, the Franklin was a better designed ship. I think the Franklin was okay, but I didn't care for... The second Enterprise was only subtly different from the first one. Death Dealer says, actually, the fan series Star Trek Continues, Apollo survives from a previous encounter with Kirk and seeks him out years later in an effort to finally atone for his actions from years earlier. Yeah, I know, but that's... First of all, it's not canon. And if you look at the ending of that episode, he's clearly dead. Neo Normie says, there was a great mod on Star Trek Legacy and the design of the Constitution Enterprise. There was the NX version of the Enterprise era and tech. That's cool. I don't know what that weird symbol is for your name, but welcome, my friend. So I'll just say, listen, is here and says Burnham was unwatchable. I don't know. Well, you know, I don't think Sonequa Martin Green is bad looking, but I think her character is horrible. Dreamers out there says Clear Foss Construction. Michael Burnham's name is a Brian Fuller thing. There are women with male names in all of his shows. Yeah, and I don't like it. I'm named Michael, and Michael's a freaking male name. All right, get the hell over it, Brian Fuller. And second of all, she's just such a horrible character. Commander Center says, I wish Trek did an episode based on what Einstein said. I do not know how World War III would be waged, but World War IV would be with sticks and stones. This could be the title of the temporal Cold War. That's actually not a bad idea. In fact, you could do the name of the final episode would be Sticks and Stones. And you would show an alternate timeline where they fail and humanity is completely wiped out, but then they succeed and it resets the timeline. The Enterprise at the End and Beyond had the benefit of nacelles that were further apart than the first JJ version. Yeah, but it still didn't look right. And Twit says wrong female lead. Thomas Patch says the Franklin nacelles to me are too ample. The Franklin nacelles? I think the Enterprise nacelles were too ample. I'm sorry, yeah. Stuart says 50th female Falcon from Starfleet giving a mind meld to the Doctor. What's if that was the same prophecy from Discovery regarding the AI? It probably is, and I don't like that. I don't like the idea of linking the story to the story of Discovery, because Discovery, you know, and I don't know why they try to do that, because everybody knows the fans hate Discovery. They're just trying to legitimize something that the fans just hate. Let it die. Dreamers out there says those Ronald D. Moore episodes commentaries were awesome. I listen to them every week, and they're included on the DVD, Blu-ray. Yes. So if you haven't heard them, and you know what, I'm going to do it because I haven't listened to them since I listened to every single one of them when they were originally broadcast. But yeah, if you haven't heard them, you absolutely owe it to yourself to find the DVD/Blu-ray of Battlestar Galactica and listen to them, because holy crap, they're good. Because it's not, oh, hey, I remember this episode. It was a fun day. Remember that time you tripped over something? You know, commentaries that we get on stuff these days. No, this is getting into the mind of Ronald D. Moore. Getting into the mind of a great television writer. A person that if he's, I don't even know if he's still working right now, but if he is, then CBS freaking hired the man to fix Star Trek. Thomas says, but there is a female Michael Crawford who sells homes. That is true. That is sadly true. And Ozzy also says, don't forget the Michael Crawford realtor. She's a female, if I remember correctly. That is actually true. But I don't care. Michael's still a male name. I don't care. And Flit says, put Burnham in prison. I wouldn't mind that. How did you get that symbol for your name? How do you do that? I found other characters on Discovery. Let's see. Yeah, I found other discoveries on other characters on the Discovery Bridge more interesting, like Demeter and however you say it. Yes, I actually, yeah, that's the funny thing. Michael Burnham was the least interesting character on the show, but she got all the screen time. You know, it literally, nobody knew what those characters' names were, which is why when Pike first takes command in season 2, he has to name everybody just so that the audience knows who the hell they are. The JJ Enterprise looks like a 1950 vacuum cleaner. That kind of does. Ozzy says, just 5 away from 14K, so make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Hit the like button. Thank you, Ozzy. I appreciate it. Actually, I was only 2 away, I think, last time I checked. Now, I don't know if YouTube's done their purge for the day, because they like removing people every day. But as of right now, 3 away. We're at 13,997 subscribers. 13,997. So hopefully tomorrow night's live stream will be titled 14K. Woo! It'll be great to hear you talk with. It would be great to hear you talk to Ronald D. Moore. I would love to talk to Ronald D. Moore. You know, and that's the thing. And not because I wouldn't be all fanboy. I just want to get into that guy's mind a little bit. He is a great thinker. I disagree with him on almost everything politically and stuff, but he is a great thinker. Knowing that Burnham can do anything, whoa, that's weird. The chat just did something really bizarre. It like completely disappeared and then came back. I mean, disappeared off my screen. Knowing that Burnham can do anything, it upsets me that she hasn't healed the crew member in the wheelchair. I'd say she's selfish, but being selfish is the one power she doesn't have. Yeah, what's up with Wheels? That doesn't even make sense. They put the other chick's brain in a robot body, but Wheels has got to run around in a chair. Enter, oof, and he's actually making me like the Kelvin Connie. Am I still welcome, right? No, here's the thing, Random AJ, is that liking or disliking something is completely subjective, right? This is Captain Foley's insignia for the USS Foley. And you can like it, you can hate it, but that's completely subjective, right? I think, personally, I think it's a little too busy. But it's not the worst symbol ever, but I think it's a little too busy. But that's what Foley's symbol is. It's not horrible, but it's not. My symbol is going to be a little more simple. RDM is on Apple Plus. I don't know what you mean. Oh, Ronald D. Moore. Oh, it's on Apple Plus. Very good. I didn't know that. Melphus says, TNG has continuity errors too, like Home Soil, where they are shocked to find that inorganic life exists, forgetting that inorganic life was found in TOS, Devil in the Dark. Well, actually, the Horta isn't necessarily inorganic. It's just silicone-based instead of carbon-based. The actress who played the mom on the Waltons had a first name of Michael, and it's a girl's name too. Shut up. Fruit says, I don't care about gender, it's just good writing. I agree. And what the hell is that? Yeah, that's just crazy, that symbol. Dreamers out there, Ronald D. Moore is currently show running Outlander on Stars. Well, very good. I'm glad he's working still. But yeah, he's a guy I would really love to talk to. I don't trust Fruit. I think he, she, it ship could be a YouTube spy. That is possible, but that's all right. I'm not doing anything. I'm not violating any terms of service right now. Ralphie is short for Raphael, so another woman with a man's name. Well, is it? I don't know. I've only heard them call her Rafi. I don't know. They call her Raphael? Maybe they did, but I don't know. And yeah, I don't get that. What's the obsession with giving women men's names? I really would like to know. The Enterprise J was in the 26th century. We need Michael J. Crawford, the anti-checker, as captain of the Enterprise K in the 27th century, and there'll be holograms of Kirk on the ship. No. My ship, see, I don't want to reveal too much about it, but it's going to be a late 21st century vessel. It'll be maybe early 22nd century. When was First Contact? Let me see. I can't remember now. When did First Contact? Okay, 2063. So yeah, 21st century. So mine is a 21st century ship. Ensign Ricky says, Ron D. Moore is producing Outlander. It's a pretty decent show. It's more about the romance and sci-fi, but also based on the book series. He's in for another 3 years in Outlander. Very good. Raphael and Michael are both also names of angels in the Bible. That's true, although they were not used as female. Frit says, I wish to something. And Frit says, how much do they pay? If you're talking about YouTube, I don't know. By the way, Frit, I know you're new around here, so make sure if you want me to read the comment that you put @Anti-Trekker at the beginning so I can catch it. I've been trying to see your comments because you're new, but I'll probably miss them if you don't do that. Get the Enterprise K has holograms of Kirk. Get it? Oh, because it's the Enterprise K, yeah. Except, no, I don't want to go further in the future. If I were going to be in Trek, I would be, my ship, like I said, is in the late 21st century. The USS Anti-Trekker will be taking flight. Ecotastic Funtime predicts that Captain Crandall is actually Q. That could be interesting. That could be, especially since Captain Crandall knew about the planet. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And in fact, that would explain it better. Last episode of Picard, it's revealed that the entire show is a delusion of Irumodic syndrome, and it has PSA about elderly and mental health. I hope that is not the case. That'd be a cheap cop-out. Ensign Ricky says, I'm on season 2 of Outlander. I haven't seen it, but then I think someone said it was on Starz or Showtime or some premium channel that I don't have. The only thing Burnham, they put in front of her in center of the story and the front of 7 in the art work during the loading screen, and she's such an insufferable character, even in Star Trek Online. Yeah, I can't stand her. Raffi is short for Raffaella, according to Google and IMDb. Well, there you go. They introduce her as Raffaella with an A. Well, that would be a feminine name. Interesting that Secret Hideout is giving women the names of angels, Michael, Raphael, etc., and angels are all male. That's true. Michael's gender-neutral name in Latin during the Roman Empire, but it was almost 2,000 years ago. I'm not so sure on that, Surf, but I'll take your word for it. The female Vulcan of the new episode of Trek was also in Babylon 5 under the command of Sheridan. Was she? I didn't know that. I do know that she was in Karate Kid 2. Ronald D. Moore shows on Apple Plus. It's Chasing the Moon, an alternate timeline where Russia's first on the moon, and now the U.S. wants to put the first woman on the moon. Okay. And Ozzy says April 5th, 2063. Yes. And that is, and in fact, what I'm going to do is I'll probably have the launch date be April 20th, and then I'll decide the year. Probably maybe a couple of years before First Contact. Because we're already planning on a post-First Contact refit. Ensign Ricky is first. Welcome, Ensign Ricky. Has anyone been named Job? Not yet. Enough with the Enterprise hate. Yes, it triggers me. I love the series that has driven nuts with all the crap people throw at the show. Anti-Trekker at least tried to explain things. So that's the thing. I understand that, people like or dislike one thing or another, but I don't get too worked up over one. Like, the fact that the Enterprise design is off is not something that breaks me as far as the show. The thing that breaks me about Discovery is the writing of Michael Burnham. Okay, so that's interesting, Donnie. Not sure. Respectfully, I wish Selena Gomez would be cast as Michael Burnham, but I'm totally cool with Sonequa Martin Green. I came up with this and put this on there, trying to put her face on there.
Death to Kataroga!
Thank you, Chancellor. Who is Captain Crandall? We do not know at this point. We have not seen Captain Crandall. We've only know that Captain Crandall appears to be a pedophile. Why do we have Irish and Australian Romulans? That is a very good question, Chris. The answer is quantum. Can the registry number be 247365? No. The registry is actually going to be SF-23. That will be the actual registry of the USS Anti-Trekker. SF-23. Let's see. Outlander is based on a book series with a lot of rape and bloody torture, and it's a hard thing to watch. Many women are against it for showing 16th century marital abuse. Well, they need to get over it. Here's the thing. If they think the show is offensive or whatever, don't effing watch it, all right? If I think that a show is offensive because it has all this crazy nutjob left-wing politics in it, I don't sit there and say, hey, they need to talk it off the air. No, I just say, well, don't watch it, all right? Honestly, if I wasn't such a hardcore Trekkie, I wouldn't watch Discovery because, quite frankly, I find elements of Discovery to be downright offensive. But I watch it because it's Star Trek. We need a German captain or a character in Star Trek who is not a Nazi. Ha! Dream on. Will your ship be NX class? No. 2063 predates the NX. Is the Enterprise Z just a warp drive and a giant hollow emitter? Probably. And says nobody wants a German bad guy who's not a Nazi. Well, I don't know about that. There could be. I mean, yeah. Death Dealer says, Enterprise suffered at times because Moron Les Moonves was in charge of CBS, and everyone's still there, all Moonves loyalists, FFS. That's why Discovery sucks. Yeah, Moonves was horrible. He was the worst thing that ever happened to Trek. I'm glad he's gone, and so hopefully things will be better. Oh, I got it. When was your ship built? 4/20/19, No. You're 4 centuries later. The launch date for the anti-Trekker will be April 20th, 2068. So that's the actual launch date for the USS Anti-Trekker. April 20th, 2068. So 5 years after first contact. Disney Phantom, what's that? All right, so Thomas is throwing a link of what? Captain Crandall. Oh, that's funny. So there is a Captain Crandall in Disney. There you go. There is Captain Crandall. Leader of the titular trio, Timo Supremo. Oh, I've heard of Timo Supremo. That's funny. I didn't realize that was Captain Crandall.
Tukaroga!
I'm going to have to Mrs. Anti-Trekker about that. That's hilarious. All right. Let's see. Going to wrap it up here in a second. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, it's 12:30. This is Dr. Bone, the ship we found in space, all the crew dead. I just found out it was fungi infection in the ship. Okay. Not sure what you want to do there. Chief Cook says, hi, anybody want to come on my stream? Well, if you're going to stream here in a minute, Chief Cook, I'm going to wrap it up in just a minute. So are you streaming now? Or are you streaming, like, later? Or tomorrow or something? Because, oh yeah, it looks like you're streaming right now, Chief. So, tell you what, I'm going to get some people over there in a little bit because I'm going to wrap it up in just a couple of minutes. So, let's see. Donnie throws some more Star Trek fan artwork in there. You guys making me click on all these links. Star Trek Tomorrow's Enterprise, and that's interesting, showing Picard and Chris Pine. That's an interesting idea. I'll give him that.
Death! Tukaroga!
Surf says Picard's helpers likely teamed an Irish accent to blend in more because they were hiding from the Tal Shiar. Well, they are Tal Shiar, though. That's the problem. I was wondering your thoughts on the Nebula class. Personally, I like it as it seems more powerful than Miranda class. I don't particularly like it. I think that, first of all, I don't like the saucer section on the Enterprise D, and I like it even less when it's on the Miranda class, because the ship looks like the Enterprise D was put into a trash compactor. In fact, here's a perfect analogy. Let me see here. Of course, now the one time I need a can, it's not, okay. Alright, if this is the Enterprise D, this is the Nebula class. Alright, Picard will end with being revealed the entire series was a result of delusions for Ironic Cinema. Ends with a PSA. Yeah, you already put that in there earlier, Jimmy. Were you not listening? Huh? You just spamming me, buddy? What if Star Trek 14 is a sequel to yesterday's Enterprise? Well, that could be cool, but I don't think it's going to happen. I do wish that the Picard show had a few locations that looked a little futuristic. I couldn't go back retro manual doors after years of auto doors everywhere. Yeah, they really screwed the pooch on some of that. I mean, the vineyard on... I can understand Picard's vineyard, because that was established back when TNG first aired, that Picard's brother was painstakingly keeping it the way that it originally was. And Picard, after his brother and his nephew's death, would probably continue to keep it that way. But everything else, yeah, like the Riker home makes no sense. Sorry, I guess I should say the Troy home. Since according to Beta Z tradition, the man takes the woman's name because, of course, we gotta fight the patriarchy. I do wish Star Trek... I already read that. Let's see. I just a heads up, Article 13 of 14 under the EU regarding use of the meme and other stuff come in April. Yeah, I feel sorry for you guys in the EU. It's going to be a mess. Herbsta loves the Nebula class. I don't. Nebula class. I want Star Trek film like Greyhound, set during the Dominion War and made by Ronald D. Moore and Ira Bear. That could be a really good show. Jimmy says, notice how Riker was cooking and doing the housework while Troy laid down the hammer. Yeah. That's just the way, unfortunately, that's the way that writing is going right now. Men need to, be subservient to the women. The funny thing is, and I'm going to get religious here for you guys for just a minute, and I apologize if you're offended by this, but if you know me at all, I do not hide what my beliefs are spiritually. I am a Christian, and in fact, the Experience, what you see, that's the church I attend. It's called the Experience Community Church. And I actually, I lead a small group there. I'm involved in the prison ministry. I've been going to that church for several years. And my wife also cooks dinner for homeless women a couple times a month. We're very involved with our church. And here's the ironic thing about modern writers, these crazy left-wing liberal writers. What they're doing was prophesied in the first book of the Bible, which is that women were going to want to rule over men. Look around, people. Look around. And so we are absolutely seeing biblical prophecy coming true all around us right now. Sorry, just got to say that. Notice how Riker, I already read that. Darren says, husbands take the wife's name on Betazoid. When did they establish that? I think they did actually establish that in, if I remember correctly, it might have been during the wedding, but I remember it being said. Why did Starfleet name ships after IGN ships from World War II, but not German ships? Well, because the Germans were evil. Malfay says, I think the Enterprise C should have been a main ship used in TNG. I think it looked better than D. I agree. The Enterprise C, here's the thing about the difference between the C and the D, is that the C, the saucer section, didn't look so big that it would, the D looks like it should fall down because the saucer section is so damn big. That's the thing. The saucer section is just so bloated on the D. The C is a fine-looking ship. If they replace the D with the C, then absolutely I think that I would have been happier with that. Riker might have a no-tech house to hide from those raiding species they mentioned. Well, the thing is that then why would he have shields and anti-cloak scanners? The house is not low-tech. The house has some of the best technology available, except that you just can't use it for common conveniences. So you have deflector shields, you have anti-cloaking scans, there's probably a phaser bank somewhere on that house, but you gotta go outside and turn the knob to take a freaking shower. That was wrong. I'm sorry. I like the Picard show overall. That episode was stupid beyond belief. And the Riker household was the epitome of stupid. Nothing about that house makes any effing sense. And nothing about that episode holds up under any kind of scrutiny. The entire episode makes sense, and the ending of the episode is the most contrived moment in Star Trek history. It makes no freaking sense at all. That Elnor, after fighting all these Romulans on the Borg cube, would then stumble across the freaking SOS button that Picard was carrying around. Why the hell was it? Who put it on a keychain and then hung it in the Borg cube for Elnor to find? Well, how did it get there? That makes no freaking sense whatsoever. That episode was garbage from beginning to end. Sorry. Death Dealer says the EU is a cluster F right now. Thank God Britain's got out when they did. I kind of agree with you on that, but we'll see what happens. Darren says Federation ships can be named after Imperial Japanese ships from World War II, like the Yamato. but there ain't no USS Bismarck in Starfleet. Well, they could do it. Maybe they will one day. I do wish there had been a little bit of set dressing on the house. Yeah, I do too. Because, like I said, having the vineyard with Picard, that makes sense. Riker? Hell no. Riker liked the creature comforts. They should make a show called Female Captain. I have a dishwasher, but I still have to wash my dinnerware. Yeah? Okay. Riker is clearly Amish. Yeah, he's 24th century Amish. I sent you a video on setting up text-to-speech on Streamlabs. Thank you, Thomas. I'll check it out. And yeah, on Twitter, I will look at it. Trekyards theorizes 7 of 9 put the keychain in Hugh's office quarters where he found it. But that makes no freaking sense! But Hugh wasn't, and he wasn't in Hugh's quarters. He was just in a random spot on the Borg cube. Darren says, well, they could have German ships named in the Starfleet if they established that Germany was one of the good guys in World War III. Very true. And I'm sure, you see, World War III, if they ever get around to, oh, God, I hope they don't do this, but if they ever show World War III in Trek, it's going to be the war against the patriarchy. You just wait. Renegade says, afternoon, Trek and fellow nerds. How you doing? The house was every British, specifically the Yorkshire Dale, that they have certain homes that do have showers outside. But here's the thing, you know what? I grew up, I grew up on a ranch. My sister has an outdoor shower where she lives now because she's lives in Fairbanks, Alaska, right? There are places where that's not an uncommon thing. But in the 24th effing century, that makes no sense whatsoever. And it's not because they don't have any tech or power if he can raise shields and start anti-cloaking scans. Plus, he was talking to the house computer while he was cooking to lower the volume of the music. So it just doesn't add up. Nothing about that house makes sense. Nothing. There's a Connie or other capital ship named Bismarck, never shown. I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Riker is a horrible father. He let his son die from a curable disease. He could ask the Federation for an exception on medical grounds, or he could just go outside of the Federation. I agree. Not only that, but here's the thing, right? Let's double down on Riker being a great dad, right? Because not only did he not petition the Federation to get a positronic brain in order to cultivate cells to cure his son, he also didn't bother going to the Baku homeworld, which apparently can cure anything, including not having an optic nerve, right? So they could have at least tried that. Then, after his son dies, what does he do? He gives a lethal weapon to his preteen daughter and tells her to go out and hunt for venomous bunnies. You know what I would not do with my preteen kid? Tell him to go hunt some rattlesnake. Sorry. Let's see. I'm getting married this Friday the 13th, and we are equal. None is above the other. We are a team. Those pushing one, always superior, must not be married. Here's the thing. Even the biblical concept of marriage, where they talk about the man as the leader of the household or whatever, and wives must submit to men, and people think that means sexism, right? You need to freaking read what it says, because it actually describes an almost perfect marriage, which is that it says that the woman is to be subservient to the man. The woman is to be submissive to the man, but that the man must love the woman the way that Christ loved the church. That's how it's worded. And the reason it's worded that way is because what did Christ do for the church? He died for the church, right? He ultimately sacrificed everything for the church. And the way that I describe that, here's how you describe a biblical marriage. Husbands and wives, since the invention of the remote control, have always fought for who gets the remote control, right? Oh, I want to watch this. Oh, I want to watch this. Oh, I want to watch this, right? That's the big battle. Based on a biblical marriage, the man should hold the remote at all times. The man should have the remote in his hands. But he should always put on the show that the woman wants to watch. That's a marriage. Picard drops 7 of 9 calling card because old people drop things on all the time. Enough said. Derek says, wow, you're on fire tonight. I guess I am. Maybe I drank too much of that Jack Daniels. You loved it, really, Andy Trekker. Okay. We could talk to the house on the computer now, lower the music, such as Alexa. Yeah, I get that. The technology exists, but you know what? If you look at the Riker household, they don't have freaking electricity in that house. They had to light candles at night to light up their freaking dinner table. They don't have lights, but they have computers and shields and cloaking scans. Give me an effing break. Dreamers out there says, didn't like the shower, but there is an LCARS panel to control it. Not have knobs like 19th century piping. Wrong! There were copper tubes and knobs to turn on the shower. Soji activated. She didn't go, oh, computer, turn on shower. No, she had to turn the knobs to turn on the water. Riker's outdoor wood stove at least tells us that Home Depot still exists. Yes. Mark says, Anti-Trekker, in writing in A Mirror Darkly Part 2, they said that World War III happened due to a genetic manipulation. Right, well, World War III was actually, depending on who you talk to, was the eugenics wars. The problem is the eugenics wars happened during the Clinton administration. Bows and arrows, every kid should learn how to use them before the age of 12, in my opinion. Well, here's the thing. I get it, teaching a kid archery can be good, but having your preteen child go out and hunt a species that can harm you? The woods are infested with venomous unicorn bunnies, and you're going to send your kid out there? Hell no! Jaeger's in the house. Good to see you, Jaeger says. How much longer until this woke BS ends? Seeing how multiple woke productions are failing badly, you'd think that they get the head. Is woke neo-Marxism? Woke is a freaking disease that is infecting Hollywood. And unfortunately, it's just going to continue. Antrigger had an Alexa. I've never had an Alexa. I don't have... The only smart device I have in my home besides my phone is I have the Nest thermostat. And only for this room, I have a Nest. And the reason I got it for this room is because I sit at this computer, not just this computer, but my work computer for my regular job, which is right behind the green screen. And I'm here all the freaking time. And if I'm feeling hot, feeling cold, I'd like to be able to change the temperature without leaving my desk. So I got the Nest for that. And the Nest is actually great for that. Tentacle says, there was a church before Christ.
Yes.
Darren says, it's interesting that they never explored the eugenics wars and augments of the mirror universe. Did they even have them? We don't know. Yeah, it would be interesting. Daniel says, CBS could not use the Baku planet because Paramount owns the rights to the Baku planet. First of all, yes, they could if they talked to Paramount and got permission. And they could at least throw a line in about it like, oh, we tried the Baku homeworld, but it didn't work. End of discussion. But the fact that there's a planet out there that can cure anything and then their son died, that's bad writing. Thomas says, Alexa, set 3-second alarm. Alexa, set 3-second alarm. See, there is no Alexa in this house. Sorry. Don't mean to disappoint you, Thomas, but I do not own an Alexa. And I probably won't because, honestly, I can't see really much of a point to Alexa except for, like, playing my favorite song and all that. But when I'm working on YouTube videos, I don't play music. I'm focused on the video I'm working on. When I'm working at my job, I don't play music. I'm focused on my job. So music is not something I listen to while I'm working. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I should. Jimmy says those were hollow candles. Okay. And Foot says, Alexa, activate self-destruct. Why not? Dreamers out there said I wish there had been an LCARS. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I misread it. Not that they not to have knobs. I get you now. Yeah, me too. If they had done something like, but the outdoor shower still kind of broke it for me. I would guess they only use scans and cloak tech as last resort at Riker House when hiding fails. Probably right. Tiki says, you go, girl. All right. Fruit says, give your kid a phaser at least. Well, it could do that. Why not? Just give your kid deadly weapons. I believe World War III is a nuclear war with Colonel Green mentioned in TOS, TNG Pilot, and Enterprise. That could be. But I thought Colonel Green was from, like, Mars or something. I'm trying to remember. But I'd have to rewatch Savage Curtain. I forgot where in the Bible does it say that women will want to rule over men. Genesis. I believe chapter 3, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's basically that's the curse that was put on Eve after she ate the forbidden fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. That was part of the curse, that the woman would want to rule over the man. Were the exocomps also banned by the artificial life ban on androids? Yes, of course they were. The venom sac in the jackalopes may not have harmed the kid. You just have to remove them before you dress them, cook them, and eat them. Right. Mark says, anti-tracker. By the way, you got to put the dash in or it doesn't highlight for me. No, say it right. The only smart thing in your house is Mrs. Anti-Tracker. The only smart thing... Well, Mrs. Anti-Tracker is very wise, right? But I said smart device. But Mrs. Anti-Tracker is obviously smarter than any phone or thermostat. Tentacle says, a church of what? The Jewish temple? Yes. Stewart says, under English law, still old children under the age of 18 to learn art. Old children under the age of 18 have to learn archery. That's English law? That's news to me. Speaking of Bixby, what about Bixby? I have Bixby on my phone, but I don't really use it. I do not expect Troy to be into the wilderness stuff. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Riker and Troy are definitely... I mean, Riker I could kind of see because he talked fondly about being raised in Alaska and all that. And his cabin, his log cabin in the middle of the woods would be like that. But his log cabin in the middle of the woods where you have to turn on the copper pipes to take a shower has force fields and anti-cloaking scans and whatever. Just hurts. Jimmy says, do not expect Troy to be in the wilderness stuff. Yeah, I know. I know a huge YouTube star such as yourself doesn't have much time to read, but I posted a half-season summary on my community tab. I'd like your sage opinion on it. Wow, SC. First of all, you don't have to butter me up. All right, I'm not a huge YouTube star. I would love to be a huge YouTube star one day, but I'm not. I mean, 14,000 subs, that's peanuts. All right, you know, I can't even do this as my full-time job until I hit minimum 50,000. Now, SC, I'm on your, let me see. I don't see a community tab on your channel. I see a discussion tab. Yeah, and you also have no videos on your channel. But, so, no idea what you're talking about. Speaking of Bixby, yeah, well, whatever. I do not expect Troy to be in the wilderness. All right, I read that. All right, so, SC, yeah, I don't see what you were talking about as far as my sage opinion on something. I don't see a community tab on your channel. And just so you see how you can see, I'm on your channel right here. Home has nothing. Videos has nothing. Playlist has nothing. Well, you do actually have some stuff in the playlist, but obviously that's other people's stuff. Channels, nothing. Discussion, you have 3 comments. And about, yeah, I'm that guy you hate in Star Trek channels comment sections. You know, the millennial new Trek casual that's been watching Trek for 40 years. So that's all I see. Get back here.
Death to Kataroga!
Darren says, speaking of Bixby, Bill Bixby. Yes, Darren, I know. By the way, Darren, I have something very special planned for you. I truly do. You're going to, believe me, when that Hulk review comes out, you are going to crap all over yourself and all of a sudden love the poop icon. The Baku are isolationists. Maybe the Fed wanted to respect a sovereign people's rights. It didn't go so good the last time they went there. Well, here's the thing. Riker and Troy could have, first of all, they were part of the group that saved their asses. And second of all, they could have put a cabin on the other side of the planet the Baku wouldn't have known. Ozzy says, end of the day, modern day sets are just a reality of CBS cost cutting, most likely. Yeah. Dental says, Colonel Green was created along with Lincoln and TOS. Your TOS trivia is failing you. I know that Colonel Green was created along with Lincoln. I just don't remember what the details of Colonel Green's atrocities were. I didn't. What does? How am I losing my TOS trivia? Because I didn't mention Lincoln? I said the Savage Curtain. That's the name of the effing episode. Get over it, Tentacle. Oh, we're peanuts, eh? No, you're not peanuts. Good night and good luck. Don't let the SJWs get you down. And remember, Emperor protects. Okay. That must be a Warhammer thing. Surf says, you are a huge YouTube star to us. Well, thank you, Surf. I appreciate that. I truly do. And, you know, there's nothing I would love more than to do this full time because I absolutely love hanging out with you. By the way, I did say this on Birdstream, but I will repeat it now. I've made the pledge that when I hit 50,000 subscribers, I will do a 24-hour live stream. 24-hour live stream. When I hit 25,000, I'm going to probably get a tattoo of some kind that I'll let you guys vote on. It's in SC's discussion tab. Okay, let me go back. Where's SC's channel again? And here you go. All right. So we go to discussion. Oh, here we go. Holy crap, that's long. Okay, so here we go. We're going to read this together. My thoughts on Star Trek Picard halfway through season 1. Well, things first. First things first. The premiere was beautiful. The opening shot, the vista, open nebulas in space, and then the shot of the old 1701D looking better than I can remember. That's because it did look better. The sweeping shots of the opulent Chateau de Picard and the lush vineyards, and a shot of my backyard, good old Beantown, glowing and looking better than it does now. Vashti, a Romulan settlement abandoned by Starfleet and Picard, while not exactly high-tech, save its second-hand defense grid. It's quaint, humble, and low-tech, not decrepit or riddled squalor. But the people do bear the scars of the saviors, leaving them high and dry. Hell, even the Romulan artifact and abandoned Borg cube is practically spotless, not the dark, dank collective of old Trek. It's and Free Cloud is Space Vegas, full of glitz and glamour, while similar to Blade Runner, does not show street sweepers cleaning up the grime, but people living the good life. Even Rios' ship for a cargo freighter is clean and bright, supporting an Eddie Van Halen guitar paint job. If this is a dystopian Trek future, I'll submit to the iron hand of my future draconian rulers. But this series to date has been well shot, lit, and also free of grime, poverty, and most would also associate with a dystopian future that the detractors are trying to label it as. The production design, sets, props, and the effects are all top-notch. Now, I agree with pretty much everything you said there. I really do get pissed at the detractors, and some of them are friends of mine, but I get pissed off about them saying how dystopian it is, when this is not a dystopian show at all. It's nihilistic, but it's not dystopian. So the story so far, like its cousin Discovery, it's layered to say the least. We have the aftermath of the Romulan supernova, the Mars incident since Revolt, and the possibly subterfuge of Romulan Federation insiders. Picard is dealing with his past and quest of finding Soji/Dodge and their connection to Data, Maddox, Girardi, and the Borg, and the Romulans. Rios, with his dark background in Starfleet, practically dissociative identity disorder, E/H's, Raffi and her dismissal from Starfleet, conspiracy theories and drug abuse, familiar abandonment, Girardi with her history with Maddox and the sense and what secrets does she know that would make her kill her former lover and mentor? Elnor, the babe in the woods, but swift and efficient blade for hire. And now we've added 7 of 9, and how she went from learning how to be human again to somewhat losing her humanity again. Due to her loss of family, possible persecution of her Borg tech, being jilted by someone very close to her over the years, and being a Ferris Ranger, a job that seems to be fraught with danger, dealing with the vigilante justice, helping those that can't help themselves, and last but not least, Zaris and Zinabon, former Tal Shiar, whatever you say, living with Picard in his estate and vineyard, and the apparent antagonist is Commodore O, Narek, and Rizzo, with part of their conspiracy and ties to the Zhat Vash and what they want from Soji. Okay. Holy crap, did I miss anything? It's a lot, and while its complexity, having to tell a story to existing Trekkies and noobs to the franchise leaves us with lots of exposition, not only for us, but then trends to repeat itself with its dialogue between characters, and that's probably my biggest complaint. I'm okay with the pacing because I'm pretty sure not all of the could possibly be tied up with one season, and we haven't even touched the upcoming cameos of the Troys. But it does need to try and clean up some of the redundant dialogue. On a personal note, I left a comment to showrunner Michael Chabon on his first Instagram Q&A. I was actually apologizing for the ignorance of the fandom that had some pretty banal questions, and he responded, "Hey, thanks, no apology necessary. So far I'm enjoying it. It feels like part of the job, which I take very seriously." So I guess some of the redundancy is needed because some of it is flying over some people's heads, but some of my thoughts, as I told Chabon on a follow-up Insta post, to quote Girardi, the show is killing it. Overall, 8 out of 10. Wow. Okay. So, SC. I will agree that the show is a lot better than its detractors are saying. 8 out of 10. I won't quite go that far. So far, I'm giving the series a 7 out of 10. I do think it's quite enjoyable, although that last episode with the Troys was pretty bad. But I think that the show overall has been pretty good. Dreamers out there saw us also outdoor showers weird. You think that the kid at least would want privacy and not see her parents naked outdoors. Well, and she was sitting there staring at Soji, not only during her shower, but then starts drawing her when she's asleep. That kid is sick. Colonel Green was also in a flashback in Enterprise. He killed a bunch of mutants infected by nuclear radiation. Okay, I did not know that. I see 4 comments. SC says, duh, oh, it's a discussion tab, last post. Well, I got it. Oh, dear, don't soil the Hulk's memory with your poop avatar. Oh, don't worry, you're going to like it. Yes, it's King's Law that the kids did not learn to, yes, it's King's Law if the kids did not learn it, you be put in jail. Okay. Ozzy said, I'm starting to like your battles against Tentacle. Makes me LOL. Yeah, well, Tentacle's all right. He likes to fight just to fight, but I don't mind him coming. Kirk had, but he loses every time because he's wrong. Kirk has a cabin in the woods. Sisko's going to build a cabin on Bajor. Picard lives on his figure. And now Riker. Why do ship captains go to basic in retirement? Because it's low budget. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. You know who, and even, you know what made sense? Kirk's apartment in Star Trek 2. That made sense. Riker did not save his boy because he's an anti-vaxxer, so he didn't get the positronic shot. Yes. The Rikers could have flown around a star warp and gone back in time before the synth ban too, but Neptune served the story. Yeah, I know. Green was the head of the Eastern Coalition, which is where the government who started the 2060s nuclear war, the Q stuff in Encounter at Farpoint was there in the court system. Well, I remember the Q stuff in Encounter at Farpoint, but I don't know that Colonel Green was mentioned. You inspired at least 25 people to create YouTube channels. That's something. So I will pad your ego as thanks. Well, thank you, Surf. I don't think I inspired 25 people to start YouTube channels. I know I encourage people to produce content like Sci-Fi Nation, Bird of Prey, and many others. But that's just because, I'm not standing here alone. Right now we got 73 people watching at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And, we are going to win this. It's absolutely, CBS is going to produce good Trek again. It might take a while, but they will. Herbster says, hell yeah, Trek, you make me want to do some streaming again. I just don't have time now, but maybe this summer. Well, I hope you do. And if you do, let me know. I will definitely pimp out your channel. I enjoy your work, even if you're a bit liberal. Well, that's maybe my unreasonable standards. Wow, Ralph, you call me liberal? Wow. Just because I don't love Trump? Because Trump ain't no conservative. But I'm basically a libertarian. The one thing I like, except for in certain things, here's the thing. I'm libertarian as a general philosophy, meaning that I'm a federal minimalist, but I also believe if the government's going to do something, do it freaking right. And so if you're going to have the federal government get involved in it, federal government should take over the education system, federalize education, and standardize it across the country. Right now, every state has different standards. Every county has different standards. And the counties that have poor people get crap for their schools. The counties that have rich people have high-tech, wonderful schools. That needs to change immediately. The schools should all be funded equally. And the only way to do that is to federalize it. SC says, thank you, bruh. You're welcome, bruh. Neil Normie says, did you think Troy dropping her Greek accent for the North London one is due to the problem that she had with Rick Burnham and her dad and mom and TNG had no accent? I don't know, but, you know, I think Troy phoned it in this last episode. Ozzy says, I like your first reactions to Star Trek Picard with Bird. He is the Picard to your Kirk. Well, you know, I think that we work well together, and I'm looking forward to. I like doing these live streams with him. I know that it's difficult for him at that hour, but I love having him on. And Trace puts through $2.99 into the chat. Says thanks for the stream and give your dog a treat. Well, let's see if Auntie wants a treat. Auntie, you want a treat? Auntie, come on, come on. I got a treat for you. Come on. I don't know if she's going to come this time. Come here, Auntie. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Come on. Up, up, up. Can you get up here? Come on. Up. All right. Good. No, she's just outside of the camera there. She's like right here. Come on. See, there you can see her mouth. There you go. All right. Good job, girl. All right. Trek gets better at season 3, so Discovery is too. I hope you're right. Darren says, CBS has never produced good Trek. Desilu, Paramount, yes. CBS, no. I agree, but you know what? Now it's Viacom. So let's hope that Viacom produces good Trek. It's funny because most of the captains went to retire at hard manual labor. Picard wanted to run his vineyard. Cisco wanted to build himself a house on a farm in Bajor. Yeah, that is kind of funny. Says, hail, anti-trekker. Hail! You, I don't know how the hell to say your name. Save this school crap for Rational Roundtable. I know I need to. Me, says Trump. Ralph says, where did Riker get the money for his lavish retirement? Well, you know, he's rich, I guess. Jimmy says, Troy had a stroke when she first used that copper shower, so she changed accent. There we go. That's the explanation. Stuart says, UK had some old laws that are still in use today, like Sunday before 12 p.m., any man or boy must go hunting and learn archery. I've never heard of that, Stuart, but I'll take your word for it. I mean, you guys are crazy, so why not? Ozzy says, Trekyards were singing the praises of Sirtis, but I was like, you don't see it. And they said it was the best Troy since TNG. I heard them. I watched their video about reacting to the Troys, and I disagreed with them completely. I think Marina Sirtis was horrible. And don't get me wrong. While I disagree with Marina Sirtis politically, and I think what she said about Republicans was absolutely horrible of her. But I met her. I actually, this was a while back, but I was her bodyguard at a con. Because I was president of a local chapter of Star Trek fan club, the USS Rebellious, and NCC 23107, and we actually our Star Trek fan club was asked to provide security for Miss Sirtis, so I was actually the head of her security detail at this con, and she was absolutely fun and lovely and all that to hang out with. She was great, but she phoned it in this episode. That was not Marina Sirtis putting any effort at it at all. She looked like, we had a son, and he died. Oh, I am so sad. I can't detect any emotion from her. That's how it felt to me. Sorry. The only thing that makes sense about the Baku thing is if the planet or its rings were destroyed. Yeah. Picard is the current production staff third year and has been solid as F, so I do have high expectations for Discovery Season 3. I hope Discovery Season 3 is good. I truly do. I know a lot of people have already written it off, but I am hopeful. This is a Rational Roundtable, also known as Anti-Trekker versus Luke. Yeah, that's true. Didn't Troy use her English accent when drunk at first contact? She did. Maybe she's just wasted. That could be. She kind of seemed like it. Here. Here's my imitation of Troy. I don't sense anything. That's it. Let's see. Let's see. I see Anti-Trekker with his eye patch on and biker jacket with a baseball bat protecting Deanna Troi from alien rapists. Actually, it's kind of funny because there were some weirdos at that con that we had to keep away from her. It's so stupid that American politics is dominated by very, very rich old guys, especially since Trump and Biden are like Simpson jokes about old people with Biden saying he was VP in 1976. Well, Biden also said, Neil, my favorite Biden quote right now is from that last debate. He actually said that 150 million people died due to handguns since, like, what was it, 2007 or something. And it's like, so half the population of our country died? That's news to me. So, yeah. Perfect audition. Why don't we cast you as the next Deanna Troi? Oh, God, no, thank you. I do not want to play Troy. I'm just saying, she was so... You know, she just didn't have any energy. And the funny thing is that, like I said, talking to Marina Sirtis, she is just at least she was, a bundle of energy. That's like her big thing. She's just like, woo, 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 let's talk, woo, let's, woo, yeah, hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? You know, and she's just crazy energetic. And all of a sudden, she's like, our son died. Our son died, and that's because of positronic brains. And you got a positronic brain, so it's your fault she died. The Federation has an outpost orbiting Baku homeworld. Remember Star Trek Hidden Frontier? I don't know anything about Hidden Frontier. That would not be a canonized show, but interesting idea. Jerry says, imagine if Troy's first to say she's hiding something again. No, thank you. SC says they should have just had Bajazel play D. Yeah, she looked like a young Troy. That was weird. Did you hear the rumor that Captain Crandall is at? And then he put Q. I've heard the rumor that it is Q. I've also heard a rumor that he's Kirk. I've heard all sorts of rumors about that. But no, I think that Captain Crandall was is just Captain Crandall at this point. If he turns out to be Q, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. But we'll see. Biden is embarrassing himself by saying, well, the only two Democrats left are Biden and freaking Bernie Sanders. I mean, I'm sorry. It's over. It is absolutely over. Trump wins. It is 100% Trump wins at this point. Because if they elect Bernie, you know, as the Democratic representative, he's a freaking socialist. He's not going to get any moderates to vote for him. Sure, he'll get the young, ultra-liberal vote. He'll get some people excited. But you know what's going to happen? Everybody who is moderate and conservative are going to vote for Trump because he's way too far left. Then you have Biden. Now, Biden 10 years ago would have won against Trump. However, the current Biden looks like he is losing his mind. All right, he really does seem like he's suffering from dementia, and the more he talks, the worse it sounds. And if he like starts losing it in a debate with Trump, it's over. Trump can't lose at this point unless he like rapes somebody. Too much Botox for Marina. That must be it. Ralph says Picard was not as good as I wanted, but it's not completely awful. The pacing is really bad, and I've seen worse Star Trek Discovery and Doctor Who. Yeah, it's it's not my dream show. It's not all I'd ever hoped for, but it is definitely a step forward for Trek. Ozzy says, I'm thinking I'm not going to like the next episode. It's possible I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I don't know. I've watched the preview several times, and I'm hoping that it's a good episode, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. Troy had 3 kids, 1 in TNG and 2 in Picard. Well, the 1 in TNG doesn't count because, you know, she had surprise sex. Kill me if Bernie wins, but at least we have free medical to keep me on life support. No, that's not going to happen. Sorry, you're out. If Bernie actually could do everything he wanted to do, I'd vote for him. The problem is that there is no way he can do what he wants to do. It's not going to happen. Because even if he decides to tax billionaires at 100%, he's still not going to be enough money to pay for his programs. I wouldn't want you to be the next Troy, as it would be scary to see you in her counselor outfit. Oh, but don't you want to see that? For $1 million, I'll wear it for you. Granted, nobody's going to give me $1 million, but holy crap, would that be nice. I tell you, I had this dream that somebody donated like $500,000 to the channel, and so that I could just do this full time. And man, that would, it would be so cool, but not going to happen. Biden is a figurehead. The left wants him in because his handlers will be running the country, and they'll be the right people. Probably right. Neon Normie says Trump is actually scared of Bernie Sanders. He's on tape saying it, but the corporate Dems are pushing Biden, even though he's so senile. He's got his wife and sister mixed up. Yeah, that's the problem. Biden is losing his mind, and Sanders is, I'm sorry, he can't win. He's unelectable. 55 trillion is what Bernie needs. Still won't say how he'll get it. Well, it's simple. He'll quantum. $1 million wouldn't solve most of your problems. In fact, it would create a bunch of new ones. No, I'm not. Here's the thing. You're right. Money doesn't solve everything. But if I had enough money to pay off my current debts and do this full time, then I would do it tomorrow. I would but it doesn't mean I'd have to stop doing the live streams. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden, everything in my life is perfect. It won't make the pain in my leg and my back go away. But you know what? I would enjoy life more if I could focus on YouTube rather than my corporate overlords. That would be my, and you see, I don't even dream of being rich and all that. I don't think I'm going to retire on an island and with naked women giving me drinks with umbrellas. No, well, I just want to be able to make this my career. I want to make this what I get up to do every day, not that. And don't get me wrong, that is not the worst job in the world. It certainly is not, but it's not this. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, Darren, but that's just me. Shomer says, greetings, Night Tracker and fellow nerds. What did I miss? Shenanigans, mayhem, debauchery. The main thing you missed is that I finished a print of Captain Foley's Trek symbol, and here it is. And so I'm going to give this to Captain Foley so that he can sand and paint it and stuff to his heart's desire, but it came out pretty nice. John Adams 2020 says, Thomas, yeah, that's not going to happen unless you bring him back from the dead. Which one guarantees a cure for cancer? That would be Biden. The Trekyards boys bash Rios' ship. What's new? They said that it's not Star Trek, but it's from an unknown race. What are your thoughts on La Serena? I don't particularly like it. I don't think it feels like Trek, and that's a big problem. I think the ship should look like a Trek ship. It could be a smaller ship, like a Nova class type ship, but the La Serena, it doesn't look like it belongs in Trek at all. It does look like it should be in Mass Effect, or something like that. It's just generic starship. I don't like it. And the paint job on it is just stupid. I think that's one of the worst aspects of the show. If I had $1 million, I'd donate $1 million to your channel. Thank you, Mark. I truly appreciate it. And I know, that's the funny thing. I know a lot of you guys who are absolutely wonderful people would, if you could, donate that to the channel. And I truly appreciate it and love you guys for it. But that's, the funny thing is, and this is one of those things that people think about. It's like, if everybody that subscribes to me donated, 50 cents a month, I would be able to retire. The problem, and just do this. The problem is that getting people to do that is difficult. I'm actually setting up the whole join thing that you can subscribe directly through YouTube. And I hope that people will support that. And I'm hoping, honestly, I don't want to get people, well, I'd love to get people that subscribe at large amounts, but I'm hoping if I can get, I would rather get 3,000 people to donate $1 a month than to get 100 people to donate $100 a month. Why? Because I would donate $1 a month to some channels, and I do actually donate to several channels. If you go to my Patreon page, I Patreon support several channels. But thank you, Mark. I do appreciate it. Biden should name Ross Rose as VP. Is Ross even still alive? You could become anti-cream star? I don't know what that is. Unfortunately, the corporate overlords rule us all. That's very true. Ralph says, at least Bernie had concepts no plan would make it work, and no support from the Senate and Congress. Yeah, it's never going to happen. Uncle Bernie will probably get you some legal 420. That's true. I would like that. That's the one thing I would like about a Bernie presidency, because he would decriminalize it nationwide. And so the day Bernie signs that executive order, I'm taking a drive to Illinois. It's not even kidding. It makes sense. I'm a like mind, in fact. Okay. Looks good, Anti-Trekker. I'm not sure what looks... Oh, you're talking about the print? Good. Yeah, I think it came out pretty good. Mark says, would you like to retire to a planet where you can eat all the bunny corn pizza you want? No, I'm not interested in eating bunny corn. Darren says, the smart windows drive me crazy because, among other things, they create scale problems. Most recent case, Lost Arena from Star Trek Picard. Yeah, I agree. I don't like the smart windows. Schromer says, same question I asked Bird. What happens when Trump is debating Biden on stage and Crazy Joe walks across Donald and starts sniffing his hair? Well, that's interesting, because what's going to happen is Biden's going to walk over and start sniffing his hair, and then Trump's going to turn around and hug him and kiss him and say how much he loves him, because he's going to confuse Biden with an American flag. So SC says, Mary F. kill Girardi O. Deanna. Okay. Tough one. So kill is easy, Deanna. Then as far as Mary and F, that's the tough one. I'm going to say F Girardi, Mary O. And the reason I say that is because while, O is, Girardi and O, neither of them are particularly attractive, but neither of them are particularly unattractive. But O at least seems more stable. Thomas says, I'm sending you all my Monopoly money. Thank you, Thomas. If only it was real money. Surf says, the Razor Crest should be an updated Maquis ship. Yeah, if it was an updated Maquis ship, I would be okay with it. But it looks like I said, it looks like something that should be Mass Effect. And I don't even play Mass Effect, but I recognize it as being Mass Effect. It's a horrible design. All right, guys, I do need to wrap it up. It is very, very late for me. It's almost 1:30 in the morning, and I do have to work tomorrow. So I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. You guys are freaking awesome. I do love, I wish I could do this all the time. And like I said, when I hit 50,000 subscribers, I will absolutely do a 24-hour live stream. When I hit 25,000 subscribers, I will absolutely get a new tattoo of something nerdy. I'm thinking maybe the Star Trek Delta Shield or something. We'll talk. But thank you again. I can't say how much I love you guys, because you made such a difference in my life, Mrs. Anti-Trekker's life, Joshua's life. You guys have literally saved our asses a couple of times. So the only reason I have this home that I live in is because of you. And I can't thank you enough for that. So thank you guys. Take care, and may the Force be quantum. And of course, the credits don't work, you stupid credits. What the hell's your problem?
Making your way with the nerds today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from hating JJ sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to just get laid? Sometimes you wanna go where all the Trekkies know your name, and they're always glad you came. birds of a feather flock together, that's what we believe. We know a place that's got you covered, a place to get relief. Wouldn't you like to say me poo? Sometimes you wanna go where turn a steady slow your name, and all Carogans are to blame.
Man, I love this
You
song.
wanna be where you can see Caroga go up in flames.
Subscribe to
You
Piano
wanna go
Dean.
where everybody knows your name.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!
Seriously, you should subscribe to Piano Dean. If you like that song, he's the person who performed it, and he and Aberjam together wrote that song. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you to both of you, if either of you are still here. I'm looking for Aberjam songs here, but I'm not seeing them. I'm going to play a couple of Aberjam tunes before we log off. Where are they? I know you posted them, Aberjam. Now I can't find them. Weird. Oh well. Oh, there they are. Weird.
This song was created using the N-Track Studio app.
When a humble turd graced a ride along with Michael J. Crawford, along came this song. The Turdistan he fought, a bedridden devil, his army of clones at his jaw did they revel. They came after us, crossed the borderline, took all our offers to send down their mines, while the feathered beast read out Dear Bob. So cried the trekker, this madness must stop. Toss a coin to your trekker, oh planet of plenty, oh planet of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your trekker, oh planet of plenty. The vile Carogans fled and hid what they had stole. The orphan was shackled and kept in the cold. But he did not relent. The Turd King was hell-bent. He slayed the Carogans, then to Bert's house he went. And with a mighty blow, he struck that button red, the mighty bird folded into by his bed. That's my epic tale, our champion prevailed. So let's drink a toast with some Romulan ale. Toss a coin to your trekker, oh planet of plenty, oh planet of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your trekker, oh planet of plenty, oh planet of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your trekker, oh planet of plenty, oh planet of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your trekker, the great turtle standing. In a corner of YouTube, somewhere out of the way, where the legions of normies never bother to stray, where the fandom is gathered and the force is strong. You get your orders from Starfleet and you keep moving along. There's a shape in the doorway and a voice can be heard. It's the voice of an android in the shape of a turd. Many geeks join behind him as they beckon you in, and as one sweet collective they all start to sing. Welcome to the Hotel Turdistani. Such a crappy place, such a crappy place, such a crappy face. There's plenty of nerds at the Hotel Turdistani. Any time of year, there is sci-fi here. We've got sweet Alexander, he keeps his brain in a jar, but he loves his Asian Muslim wife, born in the USSR. Next to him is Rock Solid, he'd like to show you the way, but he thinks Kirk and his crew are the worst, so he doesn't get a say. Lurking deep in the shadows, you'll see Chief Mr. Miles. He only speaks when he's not editing, so you won't hear from him in a while. Yes, we're quite a rebellion, rebel scum you might say, but we all share one vision, to take down bird of prey. Welcome to the Hotel Turdistani. Such a crappy place, such a crappy face. The tribbles are loose in the Hotel Turdistani. Turn your phaser on, keep it set to stun. Welcome to the Hotel Turdistani. Such a crappy place, such a crappy face. There's plenty of nerds at the Hotel Turdistani. Any time of year, there is sci-fi here. by bird or prey. A bunch of subs in April, lost them all in May. But those numbers, they're gonna zoom when I'm on the Roderick's channel in June. I said better life, and as dumb as it may seem, some people get their fix downvoting on my stream. But I won't let those losers make me frown, 'cause this crazy old bird keeps speaking sound. I've been a bully, a brawler, a bearer, a bum, and a boss with a ring. I've been east and west and north and south. I've seen many things, but now I find myself stuck in my bed. So I just hit my remote and raise up my head. Better life, I tell ya, I won't deny it. I thought of leaving YouTube, but Kurogan say don't even try it. 'Cause I got the cure to anti-Trekyards lies. Of those turdistanny turds and fake often cries. I've been a bully, a brawler, a bearer, a bum, and a boss with a ring. I've been east and west and north and south, and I've seen many things. But now I find myself stuck in my bed. So I just hit my remote and raise up my head. Better life, that's life, and I can't deny it. If there's a way to boost my subs, you bet I'm gonna try it. But if there's no play button come July, there's gonna be a whole lot of suds itching in my eye. You're a girl time lord, but you view as a sport 'cause you hate us. Your lecturing is getting old. You've got all time and space, but you stay in one place and berate us. We want you, but you won't be told. What a joke! You got woe, now you're broke. What a joke! You got woe, now you're broke. Sarah Connor was tough, but it wasn't enough for your ego. You went the extra mile instead. 'Cause the son was a guy, and that just
Can you guys
wouldn't
believe how
fly my
talented the average
ego.
is? This is freaking
You
awesome.
want a girl, so now he's dead. What a joke! You got woe, now you're broke. What a joke! You got woe, now you're broke. Well, you just couldn't see any diversity in Star Trek, 'cause you never even watched the show. Yeah, you thought you were first, but in fact you're the worst, 'cause you're lazy. They did it 50 years ago. What a joke! You got woe, now you're broke. now you're broke. What a joke. You got woke, now you're broke. What a joke. You got woke, now you're broke. What a joke. What a joke. You got woke, now you're broke. What a joke. You got woke, now you're broke. What a joke. You got woke, now you're broke. What a joke. You got woke, now you're broke. Fight me! Oh, give me a home where the orphans can't roam, 'cause they're down a uranium mine, where seldom is heard a complaint against Bird, 'cause his subjects are all treated fine. Caroga the brave, where the orphans and sassy both play, where often is heard,
Son of a bitch!
from Bird, and the bridges don't falter or sway. When the airwaves are clear, there's a voice you can hear through the noise of those turnstile lines. For despite what you've heard, Gowron isn't a turd, is what the man cries. Caroga the brave, where the orphans and sassy both play, where often is heard,
Son of a bitch!
from Bird, and the bridges don't falter or sway. Anti-Trekker might think Martok kicked up a stink in his plan to bring Bird o' Prey down, but he soon changed his tune for a purse of doubloons. Now he kneels for the Carogan crown. Caroga the brave, where the orphans and sassy both play, where often is heard,
Son of a bitch!
from Bird, and the bridges don't falter or sway. Oh, throw me a bone in this hell I call home, where the orphans and she-males play, where the king drives his jeep like he's fallen asleep, and he eats beagle bites every day.
Death to Caroga!
We cry to the dictator Bird o' Prey 5. alive. Though he keeps us in chains, we know tortoise and rains, and someday we'll escape here alive. There's a rumor you've heard that Martok loves Bird, but the truth is much plainer to see. He just read from a scribe when Bird paid a bribe, but his words were not uttered with glee.
Death to Carora!
We cry to the dictator, bird of prey fight. Though he keeps us in chains, we know tortoise and rains, and someday we'll escape here alive. When the Martok thing fell, Bird then thought he'd prevailed. When he heard Gowron send him a hail. But just seconds before, that political whore was lambasted by Bird. What a fail.
Death to Carora!
We cry to the dictator, bird of prey fight. Though he keeps us in chains, we know tortoise and rains, and someday we'll escape here alive.
I love having sex with she-males.
Well, you almost heard I'm a real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a vile one. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, 'cause you're watching Vile Mike and his real vile child. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, 'cause you're watching Vile Mike and his real vile child. We got just what you want. A sci-fi nation army coming through your screen. We'll bring you everything, from Lucasfilm to Roddenberry. We got Klingons, Vulcans, and the Borg, just to name a few. Or if you'd rather use the Force instead, well, that's up to you. But the Sci-Fi Nation Army will rise, 'cause we are one. My number one sci-fi. Can't get over Baby Yoda, 'cause he's sweeter than pie. So don't argue with the Mandalorian guy, singing use the Force just like a Jedi. Use the Force just like a Jedi. Do you love the Enterprise? And do you like those Trekkie guys? Does the data make it so? Does the Terminator shake your world? Or the Cylons make your 10 toes curl? Can you reach 88 before you blow? Well, your best friend might be phoning home, but you'll never truly be alone, 'cause the world is full of nerds, and we always travel in herds. I'd love to cruise the galaxy see. There's just so much for me to see before the day I die. And so I'm singing my number one sci-fi. Can't get over Baby Yoda 'cause he's sweet and pie. So don't argue with the Mandalorian guy singing use the Force just like a Jedi. Use the Force just like a Jedi.
I have sex with she-males every day. I love having sex with she-males.
All the orphans in Kuroga know a guy who lives in a big old bed. Every time a slimy politician hails him, it goes right to his head. And Trekyards tries with all his might to save the orphans from the mine. Kurdistanis know, that slavery isn't very kind. If you like beagle bites, then dance like a Kurogan.
I'm a sexy Asian woman. Son of a bitch!
There's a nasty rumor going round that Bird loves sex with she-males. There's a harem there, the harem was Bird's holy grail. If you venture down to the pit, you'll find a songwriter shackled there. Every night and day, they force him to write and flog him back. So he jumps right up to bark and say, dance like a Kurogan. Dance like a Kurogan. Dance like a Kurogan.
How are you going to be able to get it in the hole? That's the question. And that is the $1 million question. It's not as easy to get in the hole as you think. Come on. Get. Ah, shit. Oh, well. It was a valiant attempt.
I think you know why you are here. There's a part of you that the normies fear. We know the truth is what you seek, so we welcome you to the home of geeks. Of the oddball, the neglected, the outcast, the rejected, we're all here to celebrate. Anti-Trekyards, rebels in the wonders and the strange. Whenever we are here, we see clear, there's no fear. Into the setting, every nerd has a voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's up. There's no need to be a Pat Claire. We've done away with all the hatred. Every show you love is here. So kick back and grab a beer. There's plenty of discussion, no agenda that we're pushing. We're just here to celebrate. Anti-Trekyards, rebels in the wonders and the strange. Whenever we are here, we see clear, there's no fear. Into the steady
satisfy menagerie. We've got every alien from A to Z. We know this is where you want to be. We're the greatest channel in the galaxy. Anti-decorating rebels in the wonderstand strange. Whenever we are here, we see clear, there's no fear. We could study every nerd, have the voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's a turd. A turd. Oh yeah. A turd.
Are we going to be able to get it in the hole? That's the question. That is the $1 million question. It's not as easy to get in the hole as you think. Okay, come on. Come on. Get. Ah, shit. Oh, well. It was a valiant attempt. But yeah, I think we're going to need something a little more specialized. Although, we could try to back it in. Come on. Come on. So close. Ah. Yes. Oh God, so close. Come on, just go in. Oh yes, the tip is in. That counts. That totally counts. Okay. Ah. Okay, come on. No. We're right there. Right there. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Yes! Hallelujah! Ah, fuck yeah. I love having sex with she-males.